Good morning, shit. Good morning, Tangerines. Welcome to us. Good morning, Tangerines. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Morning Tangents with a couple of
Gents.
Sometimes you do it seductively, Danny. I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it, especially because we have nephews and nieces watching and listening.
Oh, we do? That's not seductive, though. I was just being,
Okay. I'm one of your hosts, Jason, alongside my co-host, Danny.
Hey, what's up?
Today we've been blessed with 3 guests. One of them, recurring guest, Adrian. Adrian, say hello.
Hello.
The other 2, Danny, you want to introduce them? These are more your neck of the woods people.
My neck of the woods people. Yeah, I'm introducing Mr. Gerard.
Wait.
Hi. Oh, I feel honored.
Claps. Gerardo.
And also
Gerardo, by the way, not Gerard.
Gerardo.
Like
Yeah.
Steven Gerard, not like Steven Gerard.
No. I like to call him that. I like to call him that. He's a pretty sexy boy, so.
Oh, slam.
Thanks.
And then Christian. Hello, Christian.
Oh, yeah,
How are you?
Christian. Where's Christian?
Yeah,
Wait.
I'm pumped for this.
Hey!
Christian,
I feel like I'm watching WWE and the songs, the clouds from the background.
you're officially welcome to the family now with this, right?
Right, Christian?
Right.
Yeah, right, Christian?
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully there's no fees associated with it or anything like that.
There's a little fee.
You had to take
Oh.
Danny and I out to dinner
Yeah.
Oh,
and pay for it, and
And it should be
you
a
guys,
little bit.
you guys were cutting out what you're saying?
you're gonna have to pay for dinner for us too.
Oh, it's like
today-
I'm lagging. Sorry, I can't.
Today we come with a bunch of nerds. Is what we're coming with. The number one Star Wars. I don't know if number one. Adrian?
Star Wars enthusiasts.
I don't know. We'll see. We come with Star Wars nerds and enthusiasts here today because, I fucked up. I should have started. You know what? I'm not even gonna change the camera. I fucked up. I should have started with a different camera, then moved into this. I apologize, but it's been busy. It's taken us a close to an hour and a half, Danny, to get started here.
We were just chatting.
We were chatting.
We were just family chismes, waiting for people to get on.
That's true.
That's okay. Anyways, today we're gonna do tiers of the Star Wars movies only, just the movies. Look at these atrocities that are on here.
Yes,
Some of them look terrible.
yes. R10. Is there an R10?
Huh?
Is there? I call my little R10.
Oh,
My little
where's
droid.
No, look at him back there.
You see
He's
it?
on Danny's
You see it?
camera.
I think that's too high for now.
Oh, he's moving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him.
Hey.
Go watch on YouTube for the
Oh,
people
that's
just
right.
listening.
No. What are you saying? He's saying to log into Pornhub for his OnlyFans link.
Oh, he wants to plug in his USB or what?
Yeah, he wants to plug in his OnlyFans. No.
So the way this is gonna work, this tier that you guys see on your screen is going to be Danny and I's. We are going to be the deciding factors unless we don't agree, and then we have to bring in a third party guest to make the final decision. Danny, does that work? Shake your hand.
Yeah.
Shake my hand.
Oh, I'm gonna be
Hey.
jumping in and
Shake
saying my
The yes.
2 pieces and a drumstick on these. So
The other 3 jabronis that we have here, Gerardo, Christian, and Adrian, are going to be there for giving their input and how they're going to disagree with us and call us idiots.
By the
So
way,
it should be fun.
yeah, if you guys can call us idiots if you want to. Because we don't want another salsa verde situation happen here, all right?
Danny, don't start.
Why you sound
I
so far
kinda-
there?
Hey.
You sound so
kind
far.
of agree. Salsa Verde should have been at the top.
Let's start off real quick. We'll give quick because I'm gonna say quick because once we start getting into the tiers, there's gonna be longer conversations. But real quick, what are all of our takes on the Star Wars universe? Movies, TV shows. What have you watched? I'll start off, then I'll go with Danny, so we could give an idea of what I'm trying to say, but cannot eloquate. I remember the first time I watched Revenge of the Sith. I think it was the first Star Wars movie I watched in general. I watched it at the theater with my brother and
Great
sister.
start.
I not really, because I had no context for the rest of them. Oh God, there goes R10. R10
shit.
just took a shit. He fell off. He's broken.
Oh, R2, push him off. Look.
That little bitch. He's a little sassy queen. Get out
Hey.
of there, R2. Ah!
That man's gonna fall off on his own.
So I think since watching it as a kid, I don't remember when Revenge of the Sith came out. Someone?
2003.
2003. Thank you. I was a little 9-year-old
think-
boy. Oh,
I think
God,
2003, yeah.
We can't lie to our fans.
Anybody? Does anybody know?
It came out in 2005.
So I was
Oh!
11. I was 11.
Oh yeah, 2005. My bad.
Was a fan. Then I just started watching Star Wars, mainly on TNT, actually. Star Wars was always on TNT.
This is true, actually.
Mhm.
When it used to be good.
It was
TNT.
not owned by Disney at that time yet.
Right.
It was a George
Wait.
Lucas. Mhm.
TNT is. Oh, you're talking about. Okay.
The TV.
Then I
Piano.
watched all the movies leading up to which one was it? Not before Force. I don't remember when I started watching. I think I was like a freshman in high school when I got really into the Star Wars movies. Fast forward a bunch of years into about, what was it, Adrian? 2 years ago when I got into Clone Wars.
Yes.
Adrian, who's been into Clone Wars for a long time. 2 years ago, 2021-ish, during the pandemic, got a lot of stuff to watch. Watched Clone Wars, got really into it, loved it. Then I got deeper into the lore. Anyways, that's it. That's my little two cents. 2 pieces on a drum wing. What'd you say, Adrian?
2 pieces and a drumstick.
Thank you. Danny, what about you?
I think the year was 1999. My mom used to live here in Oregon, and she sent me a box full of you know those old school figurines from when I think what was the first movie? Yeah, the prequel came out. Do you guys remember those figurines?
Which ones?
Like the regular ones they used to have. I forgot the name of that line, but she sent me like a bunch of those. So she sent me like Obi-Wan, Anakin, little Anakin, a bunch of little figurines, and then she sent me the tapes, the gold collection tapes, and I started watching them constantly. I didn't know what the fuck they were saying because I didn't know English. She sent me the English version. And I just watched it. I just literally spent years just watching that until TNT. I started watching the other movies, the prequels, and then from there on, I just until now recently started watching Clone Wars because you guys told me to watch it, and I didn't watch it because of the cartoon. I thought it was too kid friendly too much, but I did watch the Cartoon Network one back in the day.
Wait, that is
The animated
Clone Wars.
one? Yeah,
Oh,
but the animated one. The Cartoon
was
Network one.
There was another one before that. It's like I think it was a Gendy animation.
Mhm.
There was no. The animation was way different, and it has nothing to do with current Star Wars.
It was kind of
just-
like a not Afro Samurai, Afro Jack, or Samurai Jack. Sorry.
Yeah, or like Samurai Jack kind of animation. It was
Yeah.
really cool to.
Oh, yes, I remember this one now.
Yes. So I used to watch that, and then I just constantly watch every year, trying to watch all the movies. At least
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it.
Adrian.
My first one was The Empire Strikes Back when I was a little kid, very little. It was exactly on TNT, and I was like, oh, what's this? What's crazy is Empire Strikes Back was the least played one I've ever seen, because I always saw A New Hope. That one was always played the most.
The first
And-
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
and then I always saw Return of the Jedi, and I was like, "Where's that snow?" Every time when I was a kid, I was like, "Where's the snow planet?" I remember watching the snow planet, and it never showed up. And I was like, when I
The
actually
Battle
like,
of Hoth.
yeah, and when I actually realized that there was 3 movies, I was like, "Oh, they don't show the second one that often." So that was my first introduction. And then after that, well, I just you can't stop me. I for the most part watch everything. The only thing I haven't watched, I think, is like the Christmas special.
Mm.
Oh,
That
the
everybody-
1970s, 80s.
Yeah, that's the one thing I haven't watched, but everything else,
Chewie's family.
you know, there's some stuff I love, stuff I don't love, but any Star Wars is good Star Wars.
You know what?
Well, no, that's not true actually.
What do you
That's not true,
mean?
actually.
You talking about Solo?
I was about
No,
to
no, no.
ask you guys. Do you guys think at this point now there's less good Star Wars than bad? There's more bad Star Wars than good.
No, I
No.
think no.
No.
Mm-mm.
There,
No,
I think
there's more good Star Wars than bad.
Yeah, there's more good Star Wars than bad. There are some bad ones that we'll find out.
When
At
do
least
you-
my opinion.
Off a little bit off tangent here, but when do you think we're going to start getting more bad MCU than good MCU? Because I think we're nearing that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
We're starting to.
I think at this point it's starting to become bad. I don't know if it's just because we're not used to this storytelling or they're just running out of ideas and it's kind of like cookie cutter at this point. But I think because of the last like 2 or 3, I have not enjoyed Thor, Love and Thunder, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, mid for me.
What do you think, Gerard? Yeah, I think Gerard, Christian. What do you guys think of those?
Real quick.
We-
Hold on. Gerardo and Christian, this is your first time you guys are both here. Do you guys feel like that? You guys remember in school when it's icebreaker time? It's like the first day of class, and then like everyone's doing icebreakers, and they're like, "Hey, tell us one interesting thing about you." And then it's leading around, and then it's getting around to you, and then your heart starts beating, and then you're like, "Oh shit, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? There's nothing interesting about my life." Do you guys feel that pressure right now at all?
That's exactly what I feel.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're fine.
I'm sorry to put
I'm
you
here to
through
argue. I'm here to argue. Okay, first of all, going back to the question that you mentioned about.
that. Hold
what's
on.
good and what's bad.
I want to hear from
Yes.
Gerardo, not you, Christian. Shut up.
Go ahead.
Whoa!
Screw you, Danny.
We're going in order.
I didn't say that.
We're
That
going
was
in
I'm gonna get
Jason.
out.
Damn, Christian, you're gonna let him talk to you like that?
I did not say that. That was Jason. Get out with Jason.
It was me. Damn right.
I
I'm the
knew
bad
Walter
boy.
was my favorite one.
Jason Bad Boy Solaris.
Go ahead.
Gerardo.
The fact that they're running out of ideas for the MCU or the Star Wars.
Let's go with the MCU real quick. Get that out of the way.
The MCU, I feel like they haven't had a good structure ever since Endgame. I think it's been all over the place with different shows and movies. Like they haven't connected all of them with how they used to do. Like at the end, they would always, like Iron Man would connect to like the Incredible Hulk and like things like that. I feel no connection in any of the new ones that have come out lately. Because I feel like Black Panther is probably the best one that's come out out of the new ones, but it is just like its own story. Like it gave us nothing for furthering the plot of like what they're planning on doing with the future.
Right. Especially with the shows, the Disney Plus shows. None of those really feel connected to each
Connected.
other.
Yeah.
Like they have their connections to individual movies, and I guess to the grander scope because they all connect somehow. But like individually, I don't know. They're all boring to me.
Can I just add it's starting to feel like DC movies where like they're just their own movies and they're not connected in a way and they just Batman, Superman just added everybody and I was just like, what? But at least better storytelling.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Yeah. There hasn't been like a good story. Like I said, Black Panther is probably the one that has like the best story wise. Because Thor Love and Thunder was just a disappointment.
Damn.
Fact.
Kukulkan. Okay. Well, let's get back. What about the Star Wars, Gerardo? What's your experience with Star Wars?
My experience, I started it very young. I was still in Mexico when I watched them. I remember going to a flea market and buying like the whole set of the first original 6 movies. And just watching them. I remember watching them in Spanish because, no English. But I didn't start getting into Star Wars until like probably after Force Awakens came out. And then after that,
wow.
I got like into lore and like watched the shows and more deep dive into what everything meant.
Nice. We're about to get into Christian's side real quick. After Christian's done, there's a question in the chat that I hope we could all answer together. Christian, you can talk about MCU if you want. I don't care. But main question is about Star Wars.
It's all about perspective. I see it. People are against some of the new stuff, but it's because they're all follow the
MCU you're talking about?
MCU. Yeah, going back to MCU.
Okay.
People hate the new stuff, but that's because it's not following the comics and things like that nature. So they're all want to know, or they're expecting something, and when they throw them a curveball, like in these new episodes, that's when they're kind of getting mad about it and coming up with like, new things and changing up the folklore, I guess you can say, is what's making people driving, crazy. I personally like it. I personally like the new take on like a lot of new shows, because I'm not too passionate like they are into what the historical, I guess, comics say, and then I personally like it because it's a new twist. I'm not so attached to it like most people are. So search having something new in the new comics or the new shows is what kind of makes it fun for me. The unexpected, having the unexpected on the show is what makes it fun for me. So I personally like some of the new things here and there. I'm not too historical about it when it comes into the comics, but I love it. Going back to Star Wars, the last 3 years I've been watching them, all of them. During the pandemic, Danny and Gerardo told me the narrative and the timelines and how to watch them, and I started watching them and basically all of them. Given that Disney Plus had released them on high def, I started watching most of them. Going all the way from the first one all the way to the newest ones.
So you didn't really watch them before Disney Plus?
No, correct. Yeah, I just sat down one time for an entire month and started watching them all together, one by one, and I rewatch them twice, sometimes some of them, along with the TV shows, some of the TV shows and things of that nature.
That's a good segue into the live chat. Shout out to the live chat. Go watch us on YouTube live when we go live. Turn on those bell notifications to let you know when we go live. You like that, Danny?
That was a good one, actually.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Eddie here asks, would you recommend a viewer like me to watch their Star Wars movies in the order they came out, or is there some I can skip or specific way? Haven't watched any. Yes, I'm that guy. Danny knows. Eddie, thanks for chatting. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dardo.
I think you should just watch it in the order they came out. I don't think it, especially the movies. I mean,
I think that's the best order, honestly.
I know
it leaves you. I mean, at this point, if you're still not spoiled by it, you're lucky. But
true.
Like,
you're really lucky, to be honest. Yeah.
There are certain moments in like the original trilogy that you have to watch first, and you're like, oh shit, and then you go back and like, wow, that's it. Like they're different. They're different kind of films altogether, but I think watching it originally, how it came out, is probably the best version.
There's a lot of people who will say, "Oh no, you have to watch it chronological because you're gonna get confused." I don't think you get confused.
No, I mean people in the 70s and 80s watched it like that, and look at them now; they're all potatoes, so they figured it out.
Some people watch it in crazy orders. I've heard of people watching them in chronological up until I think Empire. No, how was it? They would watch it in a certain way where it would reveal, like, well, I don't want to say because I don't know if Eduardo's watched it. I don't know how much he knows about it, so I'm not gonna say. But a certain character is revealed that to be a certain person, and it's like, oh, I don't remember the order exactly, but people watch it in weird orders. Everyone eventually goes back to, you should just watch it the way they were released. I don't think it matters too much. If you're gonna start watching the shows, though, there are plenty of episodes of Clone Wars that you could skip.
A lot, and there's websites you can just look it up and be like, "Oh, I can skip all those droids stories."
Ugh, God. Padme's, droids, Jar Jar Binks episodes. For the most part. Unless you just want a little bit of character development.
Yeah. I mean, some of those episodes made me like Jar Jar a little bit better.
Really?
He's still a bumbling idiot, but
Yeah, Jar and Christian, what do you think about Jar Jar?
Unnecessary.
Okay.
Like it's just a character that really didn't like need to be there for any specific reason.
I wonder
He
what
was
Jar.
just,
Uh-huh.
He
I
was.
mean, he was just there for funny comedic actions, I guess. But
He was there
at
for
the
the
end of the day,
kids.
it's just a character. Yeah.
He was there for the kids. I think George Lucas has said that he was trying to get kids to like it, and Jar Jar Binks was the entity he used for kids to. He thought that would be good for the kids, for the comic relief that kids would want, and boy, does he just not know kids? Because wow, that was
I
a
mean,
waste.
yeah, I don't think he has kids, so he wouldn't know.
So for Eduardo's question, just watch it how the release date. So the first episode 4, 5, and 6, then episode 1, 2, and 3, and then the rest episode 7, 8, and 9. And Solo and Rogue add those. I guess
Hmm.
You
Solo.
You
Wait,
could add those whenever, honestly.
yeah, you can add those whenever at the end. Like, I'll watch.
I guess-
later.
You know what I haven't done? I have never watched it the way it came out. Like, let's say 4, 5, 6, and then watching. Oh, what do you guys think about adding Rogue One in between? What is that?
Prequels?
5 and 6? No.
No,
When does Rogue One take place? It takes place before
Before then,
Before 4.
before 4. Yeah.
before 4. So would you guys watch Rogue One 4, 5, 6?
No, what about
No.
Solo?
Oh, Solo, yeah. No, just
No,
okay.
No,
Yeah.
just the original.
because I think if you watch Rogue One, you get spoiled on something that's just like big, that it doesn't have, that maybe might not have a huge impact on the when you watch A New Hope. So I don't want to say much, but
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
just watch it the order they came out in. It's not gonna matter too much. All right, let's get into the. Go ahead, Danny.
I saw a comment that said, "Why do Americans love Star Wars so much? All it is just a bunch of wannabe ninjas or samurais with light swords." And I was like, "It's true. We Americans love so much Star Wars because it's fucking cool. That's it.
it's fantasy though.
Yeah, it's fantasy.
Like
I don't
any
know.
other fantasy story.
I feel like I just don't get why people think we Americans love Star Wars so much because it's fucking cool. Yeah.
There you go.
That's
Because
it.
it's fucking cool.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like asking why do people like Harry Potter? It's the same thing. It's just fantasy.
Leviosa, OnlyFans, my idea. Our idea.
Leviosa, not
Only wizards.
Leviosa.
Only wizards. Yep.
Only wizards. Let's get it started. All right, let's get into the rankings, and I say we go. Let's go in the order that they were released, shall we?
Okay.
Starting
Okay.
with Star Wars Episode 4. Sorry, I was hesitating because I was reading something. Is that this one? Is this the purple one? That's
Yes.
it, right? Yeah. Danny, can I start?
You go ahead, buddy.
You know what I'm starting to realize?
Cool.
As I'm looking at this and I'm saying SABCD, SABs. There's not a whole lot of S tier movies in this.
Ooh, okay, that's hot take. Okay.
Yeah,
I will say I put
I would say there's
Some
not a
in
lot,
there.
but there's some in there.
some. You guys are
Yeah.
saying some. I could
Yes.
think
Yeah.
of maybe a couple.
Okay.
You know, that's all you need.
That's
I
S
think
tier is
You
because it's S tier.
can't put them all in S tier. At that point, you're just sucking Star Wars' dick.
A New Hope for me is like A tier for me. That's where it's at for me. That's my. Here you go, Danny. What do you think?
Jason, this is why you say, "Oh, I disagree with you," but I don't, Jason. I was thinking
That's
of
great.
that.
Okay.
It's a nostalgia. That movie, you watch it again, and most people are not like, "What? This movie is kind of old already," and it feels old, but at the same time, the nostalgia and what it brings to it, I don't know. I feel like it's still a great movie. Not S tier, but it's what started everything. So
It's not as. It's definitely of its time, and I think that's when we stop ranking it because of its time though. Because there's.
yeah,
I saw a this is a off tangent, but I was on Twitter and then someone was trying to make fun of a scene from Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, and that's of its time, that whole movie obviously. And there's a specific scene where spoilers for Psycho, if I mean it's a fucking old
I haven't
ass
seen
movie.
it, but I don't care.
Like, this is your fault at this point, but
it's a 40-year movie.
he comes out. I can't remember his name right now, but there's a I don't remember who he was either, but someone's walking up the stairs, and then the killer comes out. What is his fucking name? Norman Bates comes out dressed as his mother because she's dead. In case you guys didn't know, he comes out and he swipes at him, and then the guy who he swipes at is like falling down the stairs. But it's like the point wasn't to show that it's really cool the way they filmed it. It was just to show a little bit of tense. Like that it's a tense moment, but people were complaining about it because it's a cheesy, in quotes, it's a cheesy scene that wasn't filmed the way it would be filmed now. Long-winded way to say, yeah, it's of its time, but remember what it was in its time.
Yeah,
It's important to remember that in its time this was groundbreaking. So it's not A and not S for me because it's of its time. It's A because at the end of the day it comes with its faults and it's not a perfect movie.
it's not.
Adrian, what do you think about A New Hope?
I actually agree with your ranking. I put it on A.
Okay, what are you smiling at? I hear you smiling.
Because we actually agree. I'm surprised we actually agree on this.
Gerardo?
No, yeah, I agree. My biggest take was I watched them when I was younger, so I liked them back then. But then now that I rewatch them, the bad acting really stands out to me,
Yeah.
especially Luke.
Oh.
He's kind of annoying. So, I mean, the story was great, but yeah, some of the bad acting does throw me off the movie. That I couldn't put it as an S tier.
That's what I say. Most people, if they watch it now, they'll just be like, who never seen it before, they'll be like, "This is what crazy for?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and
because
it's hard.
Acting is of its. I just said that we should compare it to what it was in its time, but acting and that time was so much different and had different standards. Today, the actors of today are way better than the actors of back then, but still, either way, the acting. You're right, Gerardo. In my opinion, and in yours, the acting was a little bit like, what the fuck? Why are you acting like this, Luke? And it could be also writing. George Lucas was never good at directing actors. In my opinion, I think that was the problem a lot with the prequels that we'll get into. Is he's not a good director with people.
Oh no, I got some opinions on Clone Wars since I recently saw it. Yeah.
Do you guys think if that movie came out today, it would be considered like a sci-fi movie, like from the Sci-Fi Channel?
Oh, no. No, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
it's more high quality than that.
Yeah. I think what it built, I think what it was is still better than what the sci-fi movies that come out are.
No, like if Star Wars never existed and that's the first Star Wars and it came out today exactly how it was, obviously with improved graphics, same acting, would you think it'd be considered
same acting?
What it is? Yeah, same acting. Because sci-fi B movies or even D movies are like terrible acting.
No, I think it's still better. Because sci-fi movies, I think of Sharknado. That's like the pinnacle of sci-fi movies, and this is better than that.
Okay.
Christian?
Christian?
New Hope?
I love me some Sharknado, Jason.
Oh, great movies. Seen all of them.
Yeah. Sharknado, the one that takes the plane.
What? There's one that takes the plane? Oh,
you
shit.
should watch these. These are great movies to watch.
Yeah, there's one that jumps from the water and then bites a plane off. Pretty good. Based on a true story, by the way. Scientifically proven, right, Jason?
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I agree with this movie. A is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, like going to the acting, and the style of, I guess, filming, it makes it look a little bit old, but that's what makes it kind of nice too. Because the movies in the old way used to be filmed like in a certain way that you wouldn't capture the actor's face, but more like the overall picture. So this I like this type of filming. I like all films, and this kind of filming of this kind of movies it makes nostalgia to me. Because right now all these films are filmed like capturing, actors' face, reactions, and things like that. And then all movies were more focused on the scenes, the action, the background, and not so much on the actor.
Okay.
That's A tier.
Okay, so A.
All right, let's move on to episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Real quick, I think Empire Strikes Back is the favorite for a lot of people. I was always more of a Return of the Jedi boy. I love the third movies and trilogies. I like the wrapping up of stories. So like Planet of the Apes, the new trilogy, War for the Planet of the Apes is my favorite.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say
we've
that.
talked about this plenty already.
Yeah.
So you know that already, but so I like when it wraps up. I love the setting of the forest too. In general, forest settings are always great for me. I love it, just aesthetically.
Where do you put this one then?
And yeah, sorry, Empire Strikes Back. This is tough. I don't want to put it at S.
Oof. For me, this is an S, Jason. This is an S. This is a more mature hopes. This is where I find out a lot of things about their family, and Luke is more mature in this one. The fight scenes, the whole how Darth Vader just outsmarts you pretty much. There's a lot going on in this movie. So it does pretty well.
Tell you what,
it's a full pack movie.
I'm not gonna. I'll wait till I hear you guys. So Adrian, what do you think?
I also put it at S tier. It's the first one I grew up with, so it's always has a place in my heart. If it was doo-doo, I'd put it somewhere else. But I don't know, cool fight scenes. It actually gives you good storytelling. The crazy stuff that reveals and all that stuff. It introduces you to Boba Fett for the first time, which I thought was cool.
For the 2 minutes that he's there.
Lando.
Yeah. Hey, the coolest Lando. 2 minute. Yeah, Lando.
Cool 2 minutes. Cool 2 minutes.
Cool. The training with Yoda.
The fight scenes were.
I do love the training with Yoda.
Yeah. The training it introduces Yoda. Like, it's so much in this movie that you don't. Yeah. Not even like you have to watch it over again to be like, oh shit, yeah, it does that.
It was the real start of Star Wars.
Yeah. It gives you so much within that entire movie. Like, it builds so much. Like, yeah, A New Hope kind of introduces you, people with lightsabers or whatever. But then like this one, like fully like, oh shit, there's a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on.
I mean, the Battle of Hoth, it starts with that. You get to what's the name of those animals? Those
Tauntauns.
Tauntauns. I mean,
like Han Solo gets stuffed in the stomach and shit.
Yeah.
Or no, not Han Solo. Luke gets sucked in the stomach. Yeah.
And Han Solo gets trapped in the what's it called? I was gonna say caramelized.
Oh, yeah, caramelized. He gets yeah. We know what you're talking about. He gets.
It's just a lot, and you find out who Darth Vader really is. One of the biggest reaction. I'm not gonna say who, but yeah.
I feel like
so. There's a lot in this movie. There's a lot in this movie, and it leaves you with wanting more for the next movie. I don't know. Want to know what Gerardo and Christian?
Gerardo.
See, I'm gonna agree with Jason. Return of the Jedi is my favorite out of the original trilogy. Okay. But I also have to put this as an S tier. Just so the fact, like you guys said, all of the things that happened, like a lot of things happened. They explained the Force more. They introduced Yoda and all that good stuff. And I just think for the amount of things that they added, it wasn't ever felt like it dragged out. Like, everything was back to back, so it kept you entertained the whole time.
Yeah.
I can I ask you guys something real quick? What do you guys love the most about Star Wars? Is the Star Wars feels more than what the MCU is so popular. Everybody loves MCU. Like, I could see why everybody loves MCU. Not everybody loves Star Wars. There's a lot of people who have never seen Star Wars. Denise hasn't seen one, right, Denny? Or did you make her watch it finally?
No. She doesn't want to. She falls asleep.
Can you break up with her now?
So what is it that you guys love so much about Star Wars? And we'll start with you, Danny. This is completely off tangent, but I'm just curious.
Oh, me?
Yeah, sure.
I like
If-
the whole abilities that they have. That's what I
Danny-
like the most. When I first started watching it, that was for me the abilities.
Famously, very famously, is because we get hundreds of people listening and watching.
Yeah.
You want to be a Sith for some reason. Just want to throw
Look.
that out there. I don't know why they lose. Not always, I guess, technically.
No. I just feel like Darth Sidious, he created. People don't give him I don't know if people give him props.
They give him the props.
But he fucking single-handedly destroyed the whole Jedi Empire. That was ruling for 1,000 years, and he single-handedly manipulated every single one. And look, I'm not saying that I will use the Force for my own will, so I'll be kind of like a gray Jedi, but they don't exist.
Bullshit.
Still in the
Look
canon.
at your R10. Your R10 is literally red and black because it's Sith colored. Because you want to be a Sith.
When I start watching,
you already lied, Danny.
Yeah.
That's like you're already a bad person.
No, I just like the aesthetic of all the Sith. I just feel like dark and red. It's just so cool. And when I started watching those movies, I was just like, oh my, look at those hallways. It's so clean. Look how organized they were. and then I started learning about the Nazis.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
And I was like, oh shit. Whoa.
It's literally a metaphor. Like, the Sith are literally metaphors for the Nazis. Because George Lucas is
there's a reason why they were so popular. I mean, for example, when I started learning about Count Dooku, I was like, I understood.
Understood what?
Huh?
Understood what?
I understood the things he was doing. He wanted to change because he wasn't really super bad.
Wait, hold on.
No way.
Full time out. We don't learn that until the Tales of the Jedi.
I know.
We don't know. We don't know
before
Dooku's
that
background. We don't know
before
Dooku's
that, though.
background.
I'm just saying.
The way they introduce Dooku into this universe is poor as shit. It is
poor.
terrible.
It is poor.
It's just all of a sudden there's Dooku. Same thing for Grievous. No, Danny, I don't believe you want to be a Sith because you're a bad boy. Because you just wish you were. I think I've said this on the podcast. You just wish you were as bad as you actually are because you are a chummy and joyful person. You are a Jedi. You are a Jar Jar Binks. And you're a potato. You are not a Sith, and you want to be a Sith.
Look, Gerard and I, we have to talk about one of our coolest, I think, Jedi's or Sith that ever been, but they're not in, any canon yet. You know, talk about Gerard, Darth Bane. What's his name?
Bane.
Yeah, Raven.
Yeah.
You know about him, Jason?
I don't. Please share.
I don't know if you guys. Yeah, you guys can explain it, Gerard, if you want to.
You say Raven?
Raven, yeah.
Yeah, Raven.
Yeah, Raven.
Raven.
Well, he's not canon, but his story, like from the old Republic, like I guess it got wiped out when Disney bought the rights to Star Wars. But his story is just like back in the old times, there were a bunch of Jedi, and he fought in the war. And he just wears Mandalorian helmet, but he's like super overpowered. He has basically immortal, and he never dies.
Pretty much, he was a Jedi, then he became a Sith, right? Then, backwards.
No, he was a Jedi first.
Yeah, Jedi, then a Sith, and then he just became his own kind of. He does whatever he wants in his own motive, and he was able to do what Dark Plagueis did, which is kind of like find a way to live forever, kind of like Ghost. Yeah, so
we got to get back into it. No, sorry to cut you off there, but it's just I just noticed how long we've been going already, and we only have one movie technically ranked. So that was my fault though, because I asked a question. We'll get into that in a different podcast probably. But so Christian, what about you for Empire Strikes Back?
Oh my God, where do we begin? First of all, Dark Vader, the fights.
Mid.
Just
kidding.
No, it's actually really interesting because it builds up to this final battle,
The throne room.
Yeah, and then you get also the Sith information. Do it.
Wrong movie.
Do it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Wrong movie.
how come you can't say no to that?
He said he leads up to it. He says.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
I got you, Christian. I got you.
So yeah, so overall, I would put an S.
You know where I disagree with you guys is you guys say the fights. I actually think the fights in these movies are all bad. In the first
Is it?
three, in the original three, I think they're
Yeah,
boring.
they're not great.
Yes, but
They're
I
not
think for
great.
what it was, I was like, I in my mind I understand, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, it's still pretty cool. When you watch them back, you're like, wow, the choreography is terrible, and they're just literally swinging back and forth, and that's it.
Especially in A New Hope, and I think George Lucas didn't know what to do there. So I think in episode 5, where they're in the throne room, I think it was very purposeful for them to not be going at it all like back and forth, where Luke was being a little bitch and just running around and hiding and shit, which is fine. I'm not complaining about that. I think it was cool actually because it got them to talk. But I think that's why he did that instead of them just going mano a mano. Manos. Shout out to Adrian.
No.
Hey.
Look, I'm not gonna fight with you guys with the S because now I'm thinking about it. In terms of the rest of these movies that are on here, yeah, it's definitely S tier.
Yeah, but okay, all right.
With these movies that are here on this list, which is what we're ranking, it is S tier movie. I'll give you guys that.
Hey, let's get it.
For
So
sure.
what will you put? Okay, now let's get to Return of the Jedi.
Wait, that was the wrong. Wait, no, wait. That's the wrong one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
There it is. My bad.
there it is.
No,
No, that's the wrong one.
What?
That's the
No.
wrong one.
No,
It's the
that's
green one.
No,
Empire Strikes.
no. This is
Empire
Return.
Strikes Back.
He
Yeah,
gets
that's
his green
Return of the Jedi.
lightsaber. He gets his green lightsaber in Return of the Jedi, doesn't he?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
My bad. I can't see it. Okay.
Sorry.
Don't yell at me.
Oh, okay. Return of the Jedi. I mean, for me, I guess it's got to be S, just based off of what we have here, because I already said that I liked it better than Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion. So for me, it's S. Danny?
Oof. Look, I agree that it should be S tier. Don't get me wrong.
Where would you put it?
I'll put it S plus tier.
No, but like, would you put it behind
No,
Empire?
No. This will be the first one. This will be like S tier in front of Empire.
You like it better than Empire as well.
I just like a little bit more because you get the whole. It's a completionist. You get the Ewoks.
That's
But
true.
the
That's a
Ewoks-
great point.
Yeah, but then again, I don't know. No, you know what? No, Empire, then Return of the Jedi. I would say.
Before we get into you, Adrian, I also want to say we're probably not talking enough about these movies because you guys talked about Empire Strikes Back and how iconic it is, and you guys are right. Each one of these is iconic in its own respect, and we're not going to give the time that it deserves.
Yeah, some of them are not. Let's just. But yeah.
I think in their own way, I think they're all a little iconic in their
They
own
are.
way.
Yeah.
Okay.
There.
Okay. I see what you're putting down.
You see what I'm
We
putting down?
get-
I see what you're putting
They
down.
all have. I feel like each one has something that we all remember. We'll get into that. Adrian, Return of the Jedi. What
I put it
tier
at-
and where?
A tier,
Oh,
and I put it ahead of A New Hope.
okay.
I was thinking of that too, but I don't know if I wanted to make a controversy. That's why.
I mean, I still love it. It's
Yeah.
still amazing. Obviously, it introduces a lot of characters as well. You know, I was gonna say the line, but then, well, it's not really a spoiler. It's a trap. You know, he says that. It's like iconic.
It's a trap.
Yeah, like the
It's a
whole
trap.
fight scenes, and then the Emperor just like, you know, it's a good movie. I give it an 8. I don't consider it an S tier just because I'm holding some like qualities in there that I have to have some differences to separate them.
This is where all the little boys in the universe start learning about masturbation after seeing Princess Leia.
Okay,
Slave
you're not
Princess
wrong
Leia.
on that.
Yeah.
I think you're not wrong on that one.
Yeah.
As soon
I
as you
mean-
said little boys, I knew where this was going.
Our Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Our queen.
See,
She's our
Christian
queen.
knows.
She's our queen.
Technically,
You're not wrong.
princess.
Yeah, you're really not wrong though. I was like, wow.
Princess.
That's a
of
good-
Alderaan.
With that necklace. Sheesh.
Gerardo,
she's-
you thought it was better than Empire?
Oh, in
Reasons?
my opinion, yeah, no. I mean, the Ewoks alone is S tier for me.
Also in Battlefront 2, Ewoks mode, a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Scary mode.
Scary mode, yeah, because it was in the dark. You only see the little fucking green, yellow eyeballs. And you hear
Overpowered.
the... Oh yeah, overpower, yeah. The fucking grenades. All right, Christian. Oh, Adrian. Sorry, Gerard. You were saying more.
Anything else?
No, yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, just I've enjoyed it more. Like it's the end of the story. They introduce. I mean, they kind of hint at the Force Ghost a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I mean, it was a pretty good ending to the whole story. No cliffhangers like Empire Strikes Back, so I enjoyed it more.
I like
Okay.
a nice ending. Christian?
Princess Leia. I mean, how come? How do you get away from that like Danny said?
R.I.P.
I love me Princess Leia.
Hey.
Carrie Fisher. Okay.
You want me to dress up like that?
I no. You said where did you want it, Danny? Where did you say?
Me?
Yeah. Where, I just don't remember what you said.
No,
before.
Empire, then
Return.
then Return. That would be me.
I'm not gonna fight you too hard against this, Danny. I'm not gonna fight you. I prefer Return of the Jedi, but I still like Empire Strikes Back a lot too.
Okay.
It's something. Honestly, these aren't even my favorite Star Wars movies to watch. Just like to watch.
No,
Like
no, I
they're
know.
the S and A tier movies, but we're gonna get to the ones I really like watching. Almost in the same way I like watching Twilight movies.
Ooh,
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Almost.
All right.
Because now we're going into the
Alright.
cheese fest that is Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1. And I mean, it's D.
Whoa.
It's D, Danny. I don't know
Whoa.
what. I don't know. It's D.
Whoa.
It's D.
Hold up, Jason. Hold up. Let me marinate for a little bit.
All right. I'm gonna let you marinate. Think about this a little bit. First of all, no one gives a shit about all the fucking meetings they had in Coruscant. No one cares about that. Because it was a bunch of antiquated dialogue that was just boring. George Lucas is over here making Jar Jar Binks to make up for all this boring dialogue he comes up with, and boy, did he just swung and missed everything. If there was an F tier, it belongs in the F tier, Danny. I enjoy watching them because they're. You know what? Honestly, now I'm going off here. I don't even really enjoy watching this because it is so bad that I'm like, no. If I'm giving Star Wars movies a rewatch, sometimes I skip Phantom Menace. If I'm gonna watch it, honestly, next time I do it, next time I have a rewatch, I'm just gonna skip past the long dialogue moments where it's just I don't care. Just you know what? I'm just gonna skip over to the very last scene, not the very last one, but the last fight scene where they're fighting Darth Maul, because that is the best thing about this movie is just that fight, the music, Darth Maul, who didn't want to be. You know what? Actually, I think Phantom Menace might have been the first movie I watched, but Revenge of the Sith, I watched it in the theater, so I think that's why it's in my head a little more. But Phantom Menace was the first one I watched, because I remember, like, that little boy's Darth Vader. Spoilers. Oh, well, fuck off. Phantom Menace, trash, Danny. Trash. It's trash.
You're an angel. That's why they
Thank you.
introduced
Pod races were also great.
I remember
Jason,
that one, though.
This is where I think we're gonna disagree really hard. I don't think it deserves a D. This is where I would say at least is a C tier. C tier. We get the pod racing, we get Padme, we get Darth Maul.
What does
And we
Padme
get
have to
Qui-Gon
do with
Jinn.
anything?
She's hot.
She's a little girl.
She's 14, Jason.
Exactly. You agree?
And she's already
We were, like, 6 years old at the time.
yeah.
Wait,
I guess.
Yeah,
okay.
what?
That's
It
fair.
came out 1999, right? The movie?
I was 3.
yeah, I was 9 years old. There you go. I was 9
Yeah,
years
I was
old.
9 years old. Okay.
Danny, Stop it. You're 26. I'm 25. Remember or whatever.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But Jason, I think yes, the dialogue I remember that when I started watching those movies, it was so boring. You're right, because I understand nothing. The Trade Federation,
Ugh.
the whole. I was like, what are they talking about? But once they got to the pod racing, once they got to the other cool, and also the only part I kind of have like a little beef. I'm like, okay, Luke, calm down. A little Annie flying a really fast spaceship.
Oh,
and able to land when he at the end of the movie.
The star, what are they called? Star.
The M1.
Yeah, they called it something.
The
else
M1.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But
So
the
Boo M1, right? Let's go. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I was like, okay, we get it, George. You're trying to make
he's the Messiah.
Darth Vader, the Messiah. Yeah, like the chosen one. We get it, and then they introduce the midichlorians, how the Force works. But also, Jason.
Sounds like you're proving me right.
They also introduce fast Jedi. What's it called?
God, yeah.
Fast running. Yeah,
fast running. What the fuck is it, man?
I don't know, Danny, but you just gave a bunch of things you don't like about it, and you're trying to defend it.
No. I said no that I like about it.
Oh, you like that stuff?
I like that
Do you
stuff.
like the midichlorians? You
No.
like that one scene where they showed them sprinting off really quick? Never brought it back.
They brought it a little bit back on Clone Wars. The second movies.
The first episode, wasn't it?
No. Talk about on the movie. What's it called? Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones. When Anakin Count Dooku is about to fucking kill Obi-Wan, and he somehow gets there really fast.
That's in
Clone Wars. I mean Attack of the Clones.
Was it? I don't remember that.
I thought it was Revenge of the Sith, where he kills him.
In mine, he used Force speed at that time because he got there really fast.
Speed. Okay.
I think you're talking about the animated movie, no?
No. In the animated movie, I think not
Mace
Obi-Wan. Mace Windu uses it. He uses that.
Danny, none of this I feel like defends you, but this is what you like, huh?
This is C tier, at least. C tier.
If it should be, if I were to put it at C tier, it's literally only because pod racing, which I think actually rewatching it's too long. And Darth Suck it, Slimo. What does he say? And then the Darth Maul fight. And then John Williams, as always, just fucking kills it on the score. So these are the only reasons for me it should be C tier. Because no one cares about the Trade Federation. I've been ranting. Adrian?
Yeah, Adrian or Gerard Christian.
Adrian.
So, okay. I had it at B tier. I
can see that.
But now I moved it down to C because you do have some points. Some of it was a little whack. The reason at least this at C, Liam Neeson. He was,
underutilized, but great.
Yes.
Super underutilized.
Qui-Gon Jinn was an amazing Jedi if you think about it. Like, I wish we would have got more.
He's like the one of like the pinnacles of what being a Jedi is. I think.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's I don't want to say the linchpin, but he's very important. And I don't think people recognize that.
Yeah, for sure.
Duel of the Fates, amazing. Yeah. Just that on its own is the one thing that came out of that movie that was amazing. Darth Maul, the fight scenes for Darth Maul were like,
dual lightsaber? Have you seen a fucking dual lightsaber before?
It introduced cool ships. So not even Padme's ship was cool.
It was
like
cool.
that.
It was
cool. Yeah.
And then
we saw it recently.
It's like a small version because there's like a bunch of lines for that, but it's one of the And then the Naboo starfighter, I hated midichlorians, but there's a bunch of that I don't like.
Jar Jar Binks. Don't forget Jar Jar Binks. People fighting the drones with throwing the balls.
The drones. The droids. I thought the droids were cool. I was like, ooh, they got robots.
once I learn about why the droids are the way they are, it makes sense. It makes sense.
But that doesn't
for
give
Sidio's whole plan.
But that shouldn't give credit to
I know.
to this movie.
I know.
No,
It
but-
shouldn't. Because that was
But
after.
it's not terrible, but it's not great also. So I give it a C.
I think it's terrible. I'm sorry. I've already ranted enough. I was about to go back on it. I actually don't think midichlorians is a terrible idea, by the way. But
I think it is. Before we get to the reason why I think it is, Jason, real quick, and everybody else, it's because the whole point of the Force is that anybody can use it. That's the whole point. The whole ethic of that is, it's like,
I think they
the Force is
introduced
all
it weird.
around us.
Yeah, I think they introduced it weird.
Yeah.
Anyone
Right,
can
Gerard?
cook. Send it to Ratatouille.
That for me is a C tier as well.
Okay.
I don't enjoy the movie. Let me go with that though. There are only like a couple things I like. I put it as C tier though because I think there's worse movies than that one.
And remember though, in this list,
Yeah, no, yeah. In this
Okay.
this list, that the movies that we're gonna talk about later, I
Okay.
feel like there's some that are deserve a D tier,
All right, okay,
but this
okay.
isn't one of them.
nice little tease. Okay.
Yeah.
Christian?
You can force dash.
Yeah.
That's the only movie you'll see it ever
Yeah.
again. That's the only
Fucking
movie you'll see.
man.
Hey, we need
Jesus
to get to the
Christ.
ship. Boom, boom, zoom, 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 zoom. And then start rolling like marbles, and you're like, oh, I didn't know they could do this. And then ever since then, you won't see no other movies. So, for that reason, yes, C tier.
Okay.
I
Tier.
obviously got outvoted once again, and that's okay with me. I think I stand by D, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
but
you
because
do.
but because
Yeah,
I
you
stand-
do, baby.
but because those not great. I actually think great is stretch, but those cool scenes are few and far between, which is why it just
It's true.
it's
It is
cool.
true.
They introduce cool things, and it's like cool, it's gonna be a cool movie, and then it's not. And then it's just not. But I'm not gonna fight you guys about this because we gotta move on, or else I would just continue fighting. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Oof.
What a they just did not title this movie very well at all. Attack of
No.
the Clones?
No, it should be called the time the Padme and Anakin did it when they were young. That's what it should be called.
That's a great name, Danny. You're
Oh.
onto something there.
Yeah, or it should have been called the time what's it called? A love story of no, hold up. What's a word saying like you're not supposed to a taboo. The taboo of Naboo.
Oh!
Oh.
Anyways, this is C tier for me. In front of
Yeah,
this.
that's why I had it.
I'll place it in just for now. Okay, sorry.
That's
Danny.
why I had it. That's why I had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sand is coarse and rough. This one, I don't even know why it's actually I put it in front because it still gives more than what Phantom Menace does for me. But either way, this movie is probably less. I said each one has an iconic moment, and I'm struggling to really think of one scene where I'm like, gotta include that. So remind me if you guys will.
Yoda and Count Dooku's fight.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Yeah,
Their
you
fight
see
was.
how he's like.
We
you
got
how
to see Yoda in action,
Yeah, he's like fucking jumping around and shit, and it's like, oh shit.
which is then eventually outplayed by, Yaddle and Count Dooku's fight, which is just 10 times better. God, the fucking music in that scene. Anyways, let's watch it, Danny. Attack of the Clones. I have more memories with this as a kid, so I think that's why also I pump it up a little bit. We got to see Obi-Wan, Jango, which was that's how he laughs. Remember? Where Boba Fett laughs like that.
Also, Padme looked really. How to say this?
This is where I agree with you. She looked good.
Yeah, I don't know. Christian, yeah, any opinions with
Their
Padme in the movie?
love story. Yes, Christian, since you're the
Yeah.
whatever you are here.
Very exotic.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. It's what it is. It's the prequels. We all know what the prequels are. It's a little better than Phantom Menace. Not nearly. It's still not that good. So C, number one C. Hey, Danny.
I already said, yeah. See, that's all I gotta say. It's kind of weird some of the scenes where, because like I said, I recently watched it and I pay more attention to it. And when he says, "I hate Obi-Wan," he doesn't let. He's jealous of me, and I'm like, has he given reasons to be jealous of him? I don't know.
Does he already say that in episode 2? I thought that was in episode 3. He's like, he's jealous.
No, he says in episode 2. He says it when after they kill his mom, you know, the sand people, and he goes saves her. Yeah, he's like, he's always been jealous of me.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't want him to be in the council.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think he's been jealous, but that's when the dark. I guess then I started to go, oh, maybe the dark side's already taking over him. That's when he's like, because a Jedi, we're not supposed to go back to where they came from. They're not supposed to fall in love. He's literally breaking all the taboos because he doesn't want to follow the taboo.
Still a bunch of bullshit. He was still disrespectful to Obi-Wan though. No excusing that. He's
that is true. Yeah.
Adrian.
Anyway, yeah.
I actually would put this as B tier.
Wow. You have a lot of fond memories of Star Wars, huh? Go ahead.
Well, this one just does a lot. Introduces Camino, introduces Jango Fett, which coolest character, again underutilized sadly.
Beheaded by
he got his head chopped off, and I was like, cool. God, wow! I was like, wow,
that was sick.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, he got messed up. And then it also introduced Padme. Oof, like fine looking Padme. So I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. The Slave One fight with Obi-Wan.
Oh yes, you're right. You're
great
right.
Times, you know.
I did like
introduced
that. Like that.
When they're fighting in the ships with the Slave One and then Obi-Wan.
Like rocks everywhere, and he's like maneuver. They were like fighting in the ships.
Yeah, and then you hear the first time they make the noise for the sonic mine or whatever. Yeah. Oh, iconic sound. I love it. And then the whole introducing of the clones. All of a sudden, they just like the Jedi are all cornered, and then all of a sudden the clones just come in and save the day. And then
they're all well coordinated. They're well trained already.
Yeah, Yoda. The Yoda fight with Dooku, and then Dooku fighting Anakin.
You know what? Let's put him in B tier. Yeah, you're right. I'm putting mine on B tier.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of good stuff there.
You know, as much as like it's shitty dialogue, I was like, oh, I hate sand. It's coarse, it's rough, whatever. You know, unlike your skin, and he's like touching her skin. There's a lot of cheesy
taboo.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the name of the special edition porn that they came out with. But
that's why Danny said it. We got you, dude.
I give it a B because it's not terrible, and it introduced really good stuff that later on paid off, and is still paying off to this day.
I think that you guys view these movies with rose-colored glasses.
Well, we have to, Jason.
And no, I'm not even faulting. Like, I'm not even saying that you guys are wrong or that you shouldn't. But I think that you guys view these with glasses that are tinted positively. So,
we'll find out. Gerard,
what do you think, Gerard?
See, for the things that you guys said, like I had this at a B tier. Like,
let's go.
The things that I don't like about it are the things that I don't like about the prequels in general.
Which is
the dialogue, Anakin being just a grumpy little whiny baby. Yeah.
He was a little bitch, not gonna lie to you.
But that was all fixed. I mean, I guess in the Clone Wars show, they give more of a reason of how he turns to the dark side.
Yeah, Clone Wars made him mature.
Yeah, so he's very mature in all movies. Like starting with this one, but all of the good things, I guess, that I like about it overshadow all of the bad dialogue because none of the prequel movies have any good dialogue. Like,
well, let's
just saying.
Come on. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
That's
so come on.
Like, it's not. I mean, that's pretty bad.
It's bad.
It's pretty bad, but No, I feel like Attack of the Clones is like overhated for no reason. Like it has way better moments than bad. The final battle alone just makes up for most of the
True.
bad things.
This is true.
All right,
The Boba Fett fight.
I mean, even when they started the actual, like, technically the Clone Wars there, that whole like war or battle, I thought that was cool with all the
Yeah.
droids. I was like, wow. And the Geonosians, they introduced the Geonosians.
Yeah, notions of the
Those are
freaking
crazy.
insects. The insects, I mean, millions of them are. Well, I didn't like the part where Padme, they're in the industrial part when Padme is Anakin is stuck.
They're parkouring.
Yeah, and I was like,
That was a
okay,
little whack, but yeah.
yeah. All right, I'll say B tier, Jason. I do agree on B tier.
B
Christian?
tier.
Christian, yeah,
tier,
Christian,
definitely.
Christian. Okay.
Definitely a B tier. Especially they had the fight with Boba Fett at the end. I was like, now that I'm seeing Mandalorian, I
No,
can see
Jango
why.
Fett. Jango Fett.
Jango Fett. So for that reason, I'm like, now I can see why Mandalorians are so popular nowadays. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool fights.
Okay.
Again, I sit here alone in the C tier. I'll outvoted once again. That's okay. I think you guys are wrong, but we're all entitled to our opinions, I guess.
Hey.
I do think it's pretty astonishing that none of the prequels will be D tier. The famously bad movies. Not
But they're not no more.
Not even just Star Wars bad.
Well,
Just
we'll
bad,
get to
bad.
that.
But
We'll get to we'll get to one that I have D
Oh,
tier.
check it out. There's
Yeah, this right now. You'll see it right now.
Attack of the Clones is better than Phantom Menace. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
a tier. If for me, it wouldn't be a tier better. It's just better, but same tier. Well, actually, no. If it on my personal list, it would be D Phantom, C Attack of the Clones. But you guys,
I see that though. I see it though. I understand why you put it that way.
It's just it. I think just because it's Star Wars, it doesn't change my mind on where I think it should be, because I think that he misses the mark a lot. Even with cool scenes, but that's okay. We're moving on to Revenge of the Sith. For me, Danny,
I already have him.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I already
I'll
have
go
it.
after.
The first spot. Even when they came out, I was like, oh my god,
First spot.
it's so
where?
cool. Oh, S tier.
Okay.
S tier. I mean, I don't know. This is what George Lucas should have done with the other two movies. A little bit still with the whole stuff, but this is where it executes everything, whatever he's been trying to do. It just starts with a bang, and it ends with a bang. One of the iconic scenes where in the whole Darth Vader's, he's just like the shot of him in the bed, the new Darth Vader.
Yeah. When he's like, no.
Oh.
And then yeah, S tier.
This is the number one spot for A tier for me.
A tier.
Yes, and I love Revenge of the Sith. But I mean S tier, Danny. I don't know. I think it does a lot. It does a whole lot for the whole universe. It's very, very important movie for the Star Wars movies, but it still, in my opinion, it still suffers from a lot of what the other two prequel movies did. It does make up a lot for, like, the last few scenes of this movie are great. The fight I think is really good. I've told Adrian before, but I think the music at this fight scene when in whatever the planet was called, I can't think of it, but I think that, thank you, Mustafar. I think it's just as good as Duel of the Fates.
I agree.
But but I think it still suffers from a lot. Like, again, the dialogue, and not to put the whole blame on Hayden Christensen, but George Lucas still can't direct actors, and this was what, 2005 we said, and it's still like you don't. It just feels off to me. The pacing wasn't great. if it, because everything had to evolve into, he pushed this all into 2 hours and 20 minutes, whatever it was, and I think it was all sped up. A lot of the stuff he did in the third movie, I think could have been a little more fleshed out in the other two, but the other two, in my opinion, again, are bad. So he didn't know how to. I feel like it feels like his trilogy wasn't in his head yet. Like he made one movie, then it was all reactionary instead of action. Like he was reacting off of the first one, then the second and third, and then like, all right, now I know what I want to do. And for me, it was too little, too late. But still, I enjoy watching this movie a lot. This is the one. Once I get to in my rewatches, once I get to this one, I'm like, all right, this is.
Yeah, this is the one I'm gonna get some food and just get my and just like put my TV and just put all sound effects.
You know what?
Open my butt cheeks.
All right, I convinced myself. I think this is S. I don't think it's number one S. I don't think it's the number one S, but I think it is S tier, just because I think about how emotional it gets at the end there when he's like, "You were the chosen one, Anakin. I loved you like a brother." Even though all that gets me. It gets me every time. I hate you.
What about Adrian? What do you think?
So I was with Jason. Just in general. I put it on S tier, but I would have normally put it on A tier because it introduces a lot of good stuff. Order 66 has a giant ripple effect.
Which the classic moment, sorry to cut you off, Adrian, when we had the Order 66 against Danny when we were playing Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Good times. A lot of good fight scenes. The score was great. A lot of good stuff, like fighting in the ships. The first scene. Got so much. Like, there's so much in this. It
just
really
feels
good.
like a good ass play, in my opinion. It just
it's like like Jason said, the third act where everything just comes together and like just works. The reason I give it an S tier though, it's backed by the Clone Wars, and I don't feel bad saying that. The Clone Wars gives a lot of context, the animated show, to this, that then leads this up and is like, wow, that like it just elevates this movie even better.
It's a great pair.
Because I would have put it at A. Before I would have put it at A because I thought it was a good movie. But with the Clone Wars, it's fully an S tier.
Yeah.
And I know people are gonna say, well, a movie shouldn't be like lifted up by a show before, or after, or whatever. I don't care. It puts so much context. It puts so much of character building within that show that now I understand why. And I wish I would have did that for the Clone Wars movie before, or the Attack of the Clones maybe. And it kind of makes that's why that movie kind of also is B or C for me, or not, B for me.
Okay.
Attack of the Clones, because of Clone Wars. But for sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I do think it's a little unfair to do that, because Clone Wars, Dave Filoni was masterful with what he did to improve these. So it really, without those, these would still... I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong into thinking that they are better because of it, because these movies are better because of the animated series Clone Wars. But I think it gives George Lucas too much credit, I guess. It gives Dave Filoni credit, but I feel like it also gives George Lucas credit. And I don't think he deserves credit for the prequels.
Hey, George Lucas
maybe I'm being too harsh.
He still deserves some credit. I mean, George Lucas was still there before the Disney acquisition, so he was still giving his input on certain things. So I know it's a little bit of a cop out, and be like, the show, but it's stuff he couldn't add that he added to like make sense of his movies. I'm glad he did it. It's for sure S tier, no matter what.
Yeah.
But in my mind before, I was always gonna put it an A just because there are certain things that just like the dialogue's still weird.
It's still bad. It's still
It's
bad.
still
and-
bad. But then like his whole decisions are weird, but the Clone Wars just clear that up more and make sense where he's coming from.
To a certain extent, I think it still doesn't fully excuse how bad Anakin is in Revenge of the Sith, where it really still feels like a flip of the switch. Even with in my opinion, even with Clone Wars, that animated series, not the movie, it still feels so rushed to me. Because in the movie, it just happens. It happens so damn quick.
It does. I agree with that.
It's.
Gerard, what do you think? Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
just-
No, you're fine. Go ahead, Gerardo.
Yeah, no, my biggest issue with the movie is Anakin's turn to the dark side. It's just the flip that is just like a scene he's good, and then all of a sudden he's just the worst person to exist, you know?
He kills
Uh,
the little, the
Yeah,
Padawan.
all the younglings, like he just does it so easily. And Clone Wars fixed that for me, with his struggle back and forth throughout the show. But if we're just talking about the movies, yeah, for me, this is an A tier.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's better than any of the original movies. Fights, yes, but as a story, I think it's not better than like Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi.
I'll put it.
Anakin's flip is into the dark side, into actually being a coming to Sith, is like if they initiated Order 66 and he also got something flipped,
Yeah,
but he is not a clone, so that's why it comes off even extra weird. And going completely against Obi-Wan was almost unforgivable for me.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, it's fucked up, man. The whole time he's over there thinking Obi-Wan's betraying him, and Obi-Wan just wants the best for the poor boy. It's fucked up. Christian?
I think he's eating. I don't know if he's back.
I don't blame him. I'm
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
hungry too, baby.
Yeah, we gotta speed up. Yeah, we gotta speed up. It's already.
Yeah, we're going long here. That's okay.
Yeah.
These are, I mean, there's a lot to talk about with these movies because there honestly is a lot to it. And we're not even getting to how they're very metaphorical for society. And that's a whole nother conversation that we don't have to get into because we're just talking about the movies. But Revenge of the Sith definitely has a place in my heart either way. I can't, Danny, in good conscience, I cannot put these in front of Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. As long as
We got our
Revenge of the
nest
Sith
in.
is S tier, I don't care. I don't care.
And for me, it really is, like you said, Danny, the whole play aspect that turns into, especially in the third act, where their battle, it's great for me. I love watching that battle.
It is.
Him getting burned alive and still just staying with his evil ways. I hate you. A little
That's like a demon.
Don't make me kill you. Shut up, bitch.
Hey, what's the next?
Good round of the first 6 movies.
Yeah.
Next, what came out was Clone Wars, the movie.
Yes.
Yes.
I think, yes.
This is
Yeah.
D for me, Danny. I ain't got that much to say.
No, to be honest, you can put on D. I know it literally. I think I remember watching it. And I was like, this is just an episode. This is the movie. But it was kind of like whatever. It introduced a lot of stuff though. You can put him a C and D. I really don't care on this one.
I
have
not
not
to
much to say.
not to speak for Adrian here, but when I was getting into Clone Wars, Adrian said you could skip the movie because the only thing it does is introduce Ahsoka, and that's the most important thing it does.
Yes.
Is that
Yes. Yeah.
the only reason you should watch this is for the very first bit of it where they're like, "Hey, Anakin, we know that you shouldn't have a Padawan, but we're gonna give you Ahsoka anyways."
We're gonna give you one. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. Because then I think my brother started watching the show Clone Wars, and he's like, "What? I think it was him who was like, why is Ahsoka his Padawan? Isn't he too young?" And they don't really go into it in the show too much.
Yeah.
I think they do, but not the actual initial introduction of it. So for me, it's just D. Whatever. We don't need it. We got the show.
Adrian.
Yeah, I had it at C, but I was trying to think about like what good points in this movie. But yeah, it's a D. The only good part was just like that first couple scenes where, You know, they
Snips.
introduce Ahsoka. They fight Asajj for a little bit in like that one temple, and that's about it. I was like, there's really nothing.
You find out how mature Anakin is in this. It's a little much mature than the prequel movies. He's a little mature in this one. So
A little
okay.
bit, but it's
he has his moments. The thing is, in the show, he has his moments, but then he has his moments of immaturity, and it's like, come on, dude. Like, so many of the problems with Padme would just talk. Just fucking talk to each other.
Yeah.
And that's just immature to me if you just don't talk. Anyways, Danny, don't you have an Ahsoka impersonation?
no,
Yes, master.
Oh,
Dang.
oh, snips.
I hate you guys so much.
You like that, Gerard?
Gerardo?
I don't want to talk about that.
Gerardo, you watched the movie?
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't enjoy it. I think Ahsoka in the movie is just very annoying and kind of like a forgettable character. Yeah.
For like the first 2-3 seasons, she's annoying.
Yeah, so like it's not up until later that you like
she
start
becomes
liking her. Yeah.
She becomes a woman.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
snips.
the movie is just it's like a boring episode of Clone Wars. Like unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Boring episode of the series. Christian's not back yet, I'm guessing. Tune in when you do get back, Christian. We're gonna move on to the next movie that came out, which I believe was Rogue One.
No.
Force Awakens?
No. Episode 7. Yes, Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think this is where it gets a little more fun. Because I prefer a little insight into my mindset with movies. I prefer watching modern movies over old school movies in general, just because of the technical aspect that they've improved on, not only in CGI and visuals, but just camera work and pacing and storytelling. I think improved. Not in every case. Alfred Hitchcock movies are still they're not just of its time, but they hold up in terms of storytelling. But in a lot of other aspects, modern movies have improved movies. So I actually like a lot of these 3 movies. I enjoy watching them. They're more.
We talked about this already.
They're more fun to watch for me than any of these. So based off of what we have here, this list, these tiers, Force Awakens is 1A for me.
Oh my god.
All right, Jason. Hold up. All right, Jason.
I you know, maybe even 2A, but I think it's A tier. If you guys think that Attack of the Clones is better than Force Awakens, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Look, I don't agree with this, but let me say this, Jason. When I watched this movie, I was so excited, and it was good. It brought a lot of nostalgia, and it felt too familiar, and I was like, this feels too familiar to the old ones. I don't know if that was the whole point to bring. It was just nostalgic. It was trying to be nostalgia, and it looked cool. Everything was cool. I like all the new characters. I mean, what's his name? Oh God, the pilot.
Poe Dameron.
Paul, yeah. I think it was cool. The whole start of Kylo Ren. I like Kylo Ren. Some people, they say that I'm a Kylo Ren fanatic, and I kind of like Kylo Ren. The start of Kylo Ren. I like Kylo Ren. I think he's a pretty cool character, but
you need a teacher.
I will say this is either I will put this as either B or the first of A.
Oh,
at least. I mean after. I'm sorry. After what do we put on the second one?
2A.
Clone.
That's
2A. Yeah. After that. But I got kind of mad on this movie.
Real quick about the nostalgic. I think you say it's nostalgic, and you say it feels like it's trying to repeat its past. I think this was tough. I think J.J. Abrams was in a tough position because not to even excuse him for what it was or trying to defend myself. I just mean in general.
Yeah.
I think it was a tough position for him to be in because not only do you have to be better than the prequel, you have to try to be something different because people don't want to watch the same thing. And I think he was trying to balance being better than the prequel, but not being too much like the original. And I don't think he did a great job of not being like the original. I think he did a fine job, but
Yeah.
it's the whole rule of three that they do with the different. They always like love to have that love triangle for some reason in these Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And you could tell he forced it in a little bit.
He forced it. Yeah.
But I don't think it was too much like the other ones. I think I think it could stand on its own. But that's my little 2 cents on that side of things. Adrian, what do you think?
I put it as 1B.
1B.
Same
Yeah,
tier
I
as
mean-
Attack of the Clones, huh?
Yeah, I mean it was cool visually. I'll give you that. Like, oh, it's a like,
It's
new
fucking
movies
good
always-
looking movie.
Yeah,
I
it's a
seen this
good-looking
movie.
movie.
Good looking ass movies.
There was
Especially
a
on
lot
OLED
of
TV.
things. There was a lot of things that just didn't make sense, and everybody, it was always the whole like, oh, it's gonna pay off in the other movies. Nothing ever paid off.
Oh, let's not.
It-
Yeah.
Specifically for like, well, just for this movie, nothing that was like hinted at or like they kind of foreshadowed paid off in that in any other movie. And so it feels like a prequel where they just had really bad, like instead of really bad dialogue, they had really bad storytelling where they just left a bunch of stuff hanging and nothing happened. Like the whole Finn somehow had force powers. Like he heard the people dying before they got killed with the when Starkiller Base killed all those planets. Nothing happened. That old guy in the beginning, like, oh, I knew her when she was a princess before. Nothing ever happened. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Just randomly, just some old guy that nobody ever explained.
Yeah.
Poe and Finn's relationship could have paid off a little bit better.
They should have made him gay. I swear.
Either that or
serious, too.
more screen time. The fact that Finn was a stormtrooper and we barely got any context of that in general, and he somehow was a fucking janitor.
But are these not
That's
faults of the next 2 movies?
But like, you still got to give it to this movie itself, because there's a lot of stuff that it's still just, it posed a lot of questions that even like New Hope gave you some answers to them. It left a little mystery considering it's a new movie, but like I feel like this movie just like try to piggyback off the old ones and try to do what Danny said, nostalgia, but gave you no context over it. Like it gave you nothing. It just like boop, drop. Look at this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a lot of that. Yeah. I still enjoyed it. Like I said, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, like
Like,
the
it looked
whole
pretty
like
cool.
the whole random like 3 love triangle thing, like that was out of nowhere. That was really forced, and it made no sense.
Force Awakens.
And I'm just like, what? Like, I don't know. Kylo Ren was cool. I did like Kylo Ren. I obviously, the whole him fighting in the TIE fighter, the
I just
when
don't
they were
like that he
fighting over
lost
whatever.
to Rey. He lost to Rey too easily. He has been training under freaking Darth Sidious. Well, pretend Darth Sidious. Let's say this. For so long, and he was able to lose to Rey.
Snoke
He
was
technically,
cool.
I don't want to defend the movie too much, but he technically didn't lose to Rey. And he was also like shot up a little bit from Chewie's gun. But I think either way, this was Rey's first time holding a lightsaber, and her being that guy. It's like Kate Bishop standing her ground against Kingpin in the crappy show.
Don't
crappy show
even start
Hawkeye.
with that shit. I don't want. No, I don't want.
Yeah, okay.
No.
But yeah, like
No.
that's why I consider it at least B1. It's good on its own, but there's too much in there that like they're trying too hard to allude to stuff without any context.
Yeah.
And that's like without adding the other 2 movies. It's just like it none of it was adding up to me.
Hit out of them.
Gerard.
See, I have a lot of problems with the sequels. I feel like they're overhated. Like they get a lot of hate for good reason, but most of the time it's just because it's a female lead or like Finn is a black guy and things like that. But story-wise, I feel like Force Awakens is my favorite, and I would still put it like at a B tier.
You gonna put it in A?
Yeah,
No,
it's a little conflicting.
Yeah.
no,
Why B?
I don't think it does anything new.
That's what I said. Yeah.
It does
Huh?
nothing new. It's just nostalgia, and even the fight scenes. Like I feel like coming from the prequels that had like very well choreographed lightsaber battles to go to like Finn didn't have any training, but Kylo Ren like just banging his lightsaber
Uh,
didn't feel like that's where the fight should have been. Like his fighting skills should have been way
With that.
higher. Yeah.
Okay.
They should have been better considering he was partially trained by Luke, and then he was
Yeah.
partially trained by Darth Sidious, as Danny said.
Yeah.
We don't know what that
Snoke.
means. Snoke.
But it's
Should have
Kylo
been
Ren.
Christian, what
No,
do you think?
It's Kylo Ren, dude.
He likes
Oh my
Kylo
god.
I like him for. I like
Danny,
for.
Danny
so-
Canada hates me for this, but I love Kylo Ren just
I didn't say I
overall.
liked it. I said I like him.
Yeah, it's just Kylo Ren has a special heart for me. I know a lot of people hate the newer movies. I usually joke about it with Danny and Gerardo, but like, hey, these are the best movies compared to the other ones. But no, it's actually I personally like this. I like the snow fights. I like the Kylo Ren, and first of all Rey. Like, come on, our queen, our second queen.
He's a Ray fanatic.
It's right. Rey is right next to Rey Padme right there next to each
I
other.
like Rey.
Yeah.
I like the character of Rey, honestly. I think these movies, these sequels come with their faults, but like I said at the top of the sequels, was them being modernized. It bumps it up a little bit for me.
Okay. They're better acting. They are better acting. That's for sure.
It's better, and all the technical aspects of it. I think
Yeah,
they
it
should have
looks
done
pretty
more.
pretty.
I think they did maybe a little too much CGI. I do like the when they're in those puppet like, it's about like how in the prequels like fucking 90% of it was CGI, even
CGI,
the aliens. I do prefer them not to be CGI. I prefer them being in
they have
puppet.
the charm.
Yeah, but I don't think it's even too much like copying. I don't know. I don't see how it's copying too much of the other movies. They have their similarities, but
It is.
I think they're different enough to stand against each other.
The thing about it, Jason, is that they brought some of the old characters into this movie just to give it, a more of a this is what we try to accomplish with the new movies. Like they brought like all the Han Solo and like
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker into these new movies because they still want to have people have the nostalgia, but also be able to have the open door for new possibilities. In this case,
They have to,
introducing
though.
Rey, Kylo Ren, all those new characters.
I think they have to bring them in though, because it's in the Star Wars. I mean, everyone complains that all these Star Wars movies are they're the Skywalker saga, but honestly, I mean, Rogue One was popular and it did great. It's still in the Skywalker saga, but they're not in it. But it's critically acclaimed. The viewers loved it, but it doesn't get as much talk as even the sequels. Like people don't talk about them as much, but it's because of the saga that it is. So I think it had to be a saga for it to be actually successful. As successful as it was, because it still earned a shit ton of money.
But don't forget, they made the moon the what's it called, the moon star? No, the
Star
planet.
Destroyer? The Moon Star, yeah.
Yeah.
How?
Danny,
How?
Danny, let me
How?
convince you to Wait, where did you want to put it, Danny?
I would say either what Adrian had a B1, but if you guys all, I thought it was gonna be more like A. I'm okay with that. But after A New
Okay, well,
Hope,
let me persuade you to A2. All right.
mm,
Shit, what's
what?
it called? The Disneyland ride.
Oh, remember Christian?
Yo,
Remember Christian?
the only reason I would put it on B tier is because of Ray. Otherwise,
A, you mean A or B?
A or B, one or the other. Just because he has Ray. Otherwise, I would the other one's single line.
Jason. Yeah, but the ride though, you're right. The ride is fucking cool. Not gonna lie, the fucking ride rules.
As soon as I saw the characters in coming in, they're like, "We're looking for the Jadas." I was like, "Yep, over there, right over there." I saw him going that way. I'm not snitching, but yeah.
No, Jason, I was still Pooh B1.
Let's go, baby.
I was still Pooh B1. I'm sorry, Jason. Like when I saw the movie, I was so excited, and I'm still excited. And then there's some parts I'm like, it got me intrigued with who Snoke is, and then it got me intrigued who's Rey's parents or who the hell is she talking about and what happened with Luke. I get it. But also a lot of the stuff it was just like we've seen this before. Also, how the fuck the new what's it called? The new Republic? No,
Republic?
the new no. The New Order. Sorry. How the hell did it make a bigger fucking
Death Star.
moon Death Star? It was not a Death Star, it's a
Yeah.
planet star. How? When the whole time we noticed that Darth Sidious was struggling to make the Death Star. He wasn't struggling, but it took him years to make the Death Star.
New technology. But look, you guys aren't
Okay.
wrong. You guys aren't like what ended up happening. All those threads that they brought up, they led to almost nothing in each fucking thread. They were a little disappointing, honestly. But this is the start of the thread. You can't blame the start of the thread with the end of the thread.
Okay, how about this, Jason?
Which
how
is
about this?
which is why I still put it at a B. Like
Yeah.
it's a good movie,
It's a good
but
movie.
there's-
I'm not saying.
but it doesn't do anything new. It doesn't do anything special. The visuals are great, but it's just a good movie on its own. But
They
it's
introduced the Raid characters from the Raid movie and what they did with them.
they kill them.
Well, I mean, hold on though. That has nothing to do with the movie. They just brought them in.
Wait, yeah,
Like,
but
there's
they're
a lot
cool.
of stuff that they added.
They're
It's just, like,
cool, but I mean,
weird.
they didn't add those characters because they were gonna be something. They added them because it was
I
like,
just-
hey, we love the Raid movies, so we're gonna add these guys just for funsies. That's all that was. But
No,
I don't know if that deserves to go down. I just can't believe you guys are putting this same tier as Attack of the Clones. That's it. That's I can't believe that.
Yeah, there we go.
That is insane to me. Same tier as
At,
Attack of the Clones.
at least I thought the clone was something new.
This is true.
I no no.
I
No.
told you could. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah?
think that's an argument for why it should be in the same tier.
Alright. Yeah, no. All right. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Wow. Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
A tier. A1
This is
tier.
A1. Yeah, this is
A1 tier.
actually. I don't know. I don't know anymore with you guys. This is
A1 tier.
This is close to like S3 for me. This is just a good movie. Standalone from Star Wars story. That just makes it even better that it connects. It does what Clone Wars does. The show Clone Wars does to connect a lot of threads. The movie doesn't do it to connect the threads, but it does it to enhance. And it's just a good movie. Well acted, well shot, well written. It has one of the best Darth Vader scenes, which is crazy to think, but this is like an S3
Oh, that
for
is
me.
true. Oof.
It's better than Revenge of the Sith.
You could visit me right now because I'm looking right now and I'm like I'm remembering all this. I recently saw it too, and I think it is. I'll put it S4. I still like Revenge of the Sith a little more than Rogue One.
Adrian.
I put it at A, but you're convincing me that it's starting to be a little S tier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because again, it's all these
It's a
movies.
great movie.
It's
It is
just
a-
a great movie. Again, it could be a standalone. The fact that
Yeah.
it's in the universe, again, it just enhances it's itself and the other movie. Well, I guess more specifically enhances episode 4.
Yeah, like great,
Artem,
great
what do you
acting,
think?
great acting, great,
All right.
great visuals, great everything.
Okay. Gerardo?
This is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah. 'cause
They're like out of
a
all of them.
Yeah.
I feel like it has no Jedi or no Force, nothing, but just the story.
little bit of Force. A little bit.
A little bit, but I feel like it focuses more on like the rebel side of the fight. And for me, it's like S tier. I've rewatched this movie so many times.
I-
Like I never get bored of it. I could watch it right now.
You're right, because there's a scene from that the one that starts in episode 4 when it ends.
Yeah,
When Darth Vader is in when he's the point of view of of seeing the rebels of the Republic and seeing Darth Vader come in
yeah.
the starship. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Christian?
Okay.
And I mean, it's just I gives you Andor, which
Yes.
Probably the best
Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
Wars
Yeah.
media.
Diego Luna, the puppy.
Yeah, can argue
Puppy.
with Diego Luna. Yeah,
Puppy, pup.
And
Okay.
he uses IP Man or whatever his name is, and he was badass.
Yeah, he was badass. Yeah. Okay, Jason. Christian, what do you think? What do you
Yeah, I
say?
agree with Gerardo. Definitely, just right there. Just it doesn't have anything it makes it Star Wars. I guess when we're like in the universe when it comes into Jedi and all that stuff. But having being Rogue, I guess from the Star Wars franchise, having nothing all the old school stuff makes it really nice for me. And then like I said, Andor. Oh my God, Papi Diego Luna. We have eventually an Andor series, which talks about the whole Rebels tie. So, yes, definitely
And
agree.
Okay, and it looks good too. Like the stormtroopers at the beginning, that shot with the stormtroopers when the first scenes. I don't know, it looked pretty cool to me. The dark stormtroopers. So, Jason, I don't know. It's up to you where you want to put it.
Me?
Well, look. You
I'll
gave your
accept it.
arguments.
I'll
put
accept
it.
it at S tier. I'll
I put
accept
it
it.
S tier, but is it S tier?
Honestly,
1,
I
2, or
almost
3?
agreed with Gerardo on it being S1. Because, again, modern movies, I just prefer them in general. And
I put it S2.
this Rogue One is near, I don't want to say perfect, but it's near that. It's near it not wasting its time. I think a little bit of the middle starts to get a little bit of time wasting of like we didn't need this, like when they're out there, the scene when they're in the planet with Mads Mikkelsen and she's seeing her dad. I feel like that scene just was a little too long. And when it's raining, you guys know what I'm talking about? Maybe not. Ben.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like that scene was just a little too long, and there's other scenes that just feel low. Anyways, I'm getting nitpicky at this point, but I don't know. It's still S3 for me. I don't know. S1. I don't know. Danny, you decide.
Me?
Let's put it here. For now.
S tier,
There you
fine.
go.
We
S
just
tier,
gotta
fine.
move
That's
There you
fine.
go.
That's
gotta
fine.
move on.
That's fine. I'm okay.
If you
with
want to
that.
put at the very beginning of S tier, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But
Mhm.
Let's move on to The Last Jedi.
See,
Probably the most divisive.
are you D or C? D. Personally, I'll put D.
I don't.
Let's just get it out of the way. What's everybody? I'm putting it at D, and then we
Okay.
can all put our input.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
are you guys
yeah.
putting it on?
Gerard, Christian.
D.
Okay, Christian.
A, because they're kissing.
Damn it.
Dude, it has Kylo Ren.
Is that like
and
a
they're
joke?
fighting the
like an
last.
April Fool's
the last
ranking?
no,
or-
seriously, they're fighting the last sis. Come on, you had to have at least.
I'm a little closer with Christian, honestly.
They're fighting.
I don't
last
think
sis,
it's a
like,
D for me. I think the only thing that brings it down, which is not good to say right now because of the hate that she got, and I don't even blame Rose or the actress, but the storyline between Rose and Finn was atrocious. It was
The casino?
terrible. was terrible.
Pointless.
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 The whole point of the starships going to another starship, while going to light speed, which it never in entire of other movies, they said it was something that happens, but yet they did it for this movie because of the purpose of to continue with the story to find a way to get out.
I think it's easy to gatekeep and nitpick this movie to oblivion, but I don't know. It's B for me.
Jason, look is literally giving up. He gave up.
I don't see.
No.
This
is the whole point with this movie, Jason. I'm sorry. This is the whole point of Luke. Luke's character was never supposed to give up. He was the hope.
Why?
Because he was not like his father. And
but
at that part,
different.
he became like his father.
No, hard stop there, because that's not true. He didn't become a Sith.
He almost became like his father.
I like what they did with Luke, and I know that's very controversial because everyone has such a soft spot for Luke in their hearts, and because of what we got from the original 3. But I don't see what's so wrong about character development, even if it's not positive. It's still character development. It introduced in the movies the gray side of things, which I thought was cool. I thought was fun. I think they should have explored that more. I don't think they fleshed it out enough, but I thought that was so cool that we saw a broken Luke. I thought that was awesome.
No, that's fine, but don't throw the lightsaber away. Don't stop. This is him.
What's wrong,
Jason?
I know this is the argument. This is like the popular argument to have, and people and Star Wars fans hate this movie. I don't think it deserves as much hate as it gets. And again, this was another movie that they did not execute very well. They didn't execute any of these sequels well, but I thought it gave us a lot of cool things. I like the whole forced communication that turned out to be a fucking... It sucks that it was Snoke doing it. I wish it wasn't that. But I actually enjoyed their back and forth of like this whole idea of them forced... I don't remember what it was called, but for the forced communication that Rey and Kylo Ren were having, I thought that was fun. I thought they were playing with some cool stuff there.
Yeah, be able to like communicate and see others' visions.
I thought that was fun. I liked Poe's whole thing, even though this one I think he was in it the least. I didn't like what they did with where I didn't mind Leia floating through space. Whatever, it is what it is. I'm not gonna complain about it. It is what it is. But the person, I can't remember the actress's name. The purple bitch wearing purple.
Oh yeah.
I thought
whatever his name is. Yeah,
I thought it was dumb that she couldn't just tell them the plan. I thought that was dumb. But the worst thing about this movie, I think, was the whole Finn storyline. They killed it with that. Everything else, Rey and Kylo's whole thing with Luke, I thought was super cool. I enjoy watching this movie more than the bottom 3 that we have so far. I could watch this movie again and again. Maybe that's too much, but I'd rather watch this movie than Clone Wars, than Phantom Menace. Easily, I'd rather watch this over Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
Look, I give you that. I watched.
This is B2.
Jesus.
Yeah, especially the fight with the Kylo and Rey in the rain. It's just something quite interesting because we don't really see that many fights between the good and the bad guy in most of the movies. I guess the leaders when it comes into that kind of like aspect. So finally seeing one, Kylo being the big guy, and then using turning himself into a good guy towards the end was kind of interesting. I personally liked it.
You're talking about the future or this movie?
Just this movie overall. I was okay with it.
Never mind. Adrian,
I have my gripes with it. If it was a standalone in a different movie, I'd put it to A. But the fact that it tried to fit into Star Wars, specifically in the Skywalker saga, and the choices they made, and coming off of The Force Awakens, this movie made no sense whatsoever. They killed Snoke instantly.
Bad idea.
Like he was a bitch. They just killed him somehow. Oh, he's somehow in their minds connecting everything, and he could predict everything. but he just fucking died like that. I was like, that was the stupidest thing.
Bad idea, but really cool fight.
Yes, the whole fight in that little like room that they had
Awesome.
with all the like red like troopers or whatever. Cool. I thought, and then they're like back to back, you know, like, oh, like this Sith and this Jedi are like fighting against this person. I thought that was cool.
See, you guys talk about cool fights about Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. These movies had the cooler fights, and you're ranking it lower. Just saying.
Somewhat cooler
Just
fights.
saying.
I thought Luke, first scene where Luke just throws away the lightsaber was stupid. I was like, what? Like that's how they started it?
It was trying to be
could've
funny.
been-
It was trying to be funny, and it missed the mark.
I was just like, that makes no sense. Other than that, I understood. I didn't mind Luke's like reluctance to be a master again or whatever, just because he almost killed somebody, and then he was afraid of people's power or have them growing whatever. Like I understood his like small little arc. I hated how they killed the ship. The Holdo maneuver shit, stupid. She just rammed the ship into his big ship. Stupid. Oh,
It looked cool though. Not gonna lie, it looked fucking cool.
It visually looked cool,
It
but
looked cool.
stupid. It was just a lazy writing.
Don't forget Captain Phasma.
Captain Phasma, useless character.
One of the coolest
Literally,
looking fucking
yeah.
stormtroopers ever.
Hyped her up to be nothing. What Poe's? I thought Poe's story was a little weird because it just automatically took like he was an arrogant prick compared to the first one.
Yeah.
And I was just like, where did that come from? And then he somehow was okay with them, like his friends or people he knew dying randomly just to blow up a ship. I thought that was stupid. Finn and Rose's storyline was trash. I never blamed the actor or the actress.
A lot of people, unfortunately, did.
Yeah.
She tried her best, but the writing for that was stupid. Like, okay, fine. In the end, she's like in love with him. I understand that, and that's completely fine. But stupid. The one that the line I laugh about the most is where they were on the planet, the red planet, and he licks the ground and he's like, salt, and he spits out. I was like, that's stupid. I was like, that's dumb. The only cool scene, and the only thing that like I was like, wow, this is like Star Wars, is when Rey comes out and lifts the boulders as when she's like kind of starting to become a Jedi.
Yeah.
And she lifts all the rocks, and everybody's looking around like amazed because they've never seen that, and they're like, oh, you could see it sparks like hope for them because they were literally thought they were gonna die in a corner because they couldn't get past it. I thought that was the coolest scene because that was Star Wars to me. That one person could like give hope to this amount of people. So that's the only thing I liked. One of the few things I liked, but everything else was dumb. The little kid that was like force powers in the other planet too was stupid.
You mean at the end of the movie?
Yeah, I was like, what? Like
That
this
was
has
dumb.
nothing to do with like this story.
Yeah,
Rogue
but Adrian,
saved the animals, but didn't save the kids.
But Adrian, guys, I can't believe it. How can Phantom Menace be better? Makes no sense to me. And we're Attack of the Clones. It makes zero sense that you think it's better.
Phantom Menace was at least in the Skywalker and storyline where it at least tried to connect. This movie had no connections other than Luke and Leia, and they tried so hard to make that work somehow.
See, but this is where it gets a little confusing because you guys are saying it's trying too hard to be like the other ones, but then doesn't try to be different, and now you guys are hating it for it.
No, I'm not hating it because of that, Jason. I hate it because it. How do I say this? The part with Luke, like I said, they just wrote it off because they wanted to do the views and move on with the story. It feel like it didn't matter to them. This whole storyline, it didn't matter to them.
Yeah, it's like they looked at the previous movies, even the last movie that J.J. Abrams did, and were like, we're doing our own separate thing. We'll use the same characters, but it's just completely disconnected with certain parts, and I'm just like, that's the part that makes no sense to me. because it is that whole. You have to admit that whole movie is a complete shift of what the first movie was, of every character, and you're just like, what's going? Like I went in that movie like it was cool, but what the fuck did I just watch? Like nothing added up to what I watched in the last movie.
I don't completely agree with that. I think they still connect, and I think the characters do some things that don't completely relate. But again, Phantom fucking Menace. I and Attack of the Clones. These are boring movies. They're boring.
I don't know. To be honest, they're in the same boat to me.
I think you guys are
just because I think it's new. It's because it's not boring. It's new, so it's not boring. The other ones have issues where there's shitty CGI and bad
Dialogue.
stuff. Yeah, bad dialogue. But this movie is just new and fresh. And yes, it's visually stunning. Yes, the cinematography is a little bit better than the previous ones, and obviously the directing is better. But the movie doesn't do anything for Star Wars.
Well, let's see what AJR has to say. Christian.
Didn't they already?
See, for me, I feel like their biggest mistake with this movie was choosing a different director than from the first movie.
For sure.
Because the fact that they switched directors, like they told two completely different stories, and that's why they don't feel like they align with each other. I still don't like the movie. I feel like it wasted Luke's character. I understand that there's character development, but the fact that we haven't seen him in years, and the next time you see him is him throwing the Jedi away,
and he's dead.
And and then they just kill him off at the end with
that was strange.
No, really, like anything cool. I mean, he's like in another planet, and it's just a Force vision, and he just dies. Like, I don't know. I didn't really like the way they handled his character. And again, Rey and Kylo Ren's fight is probably the only good thing that came from that movie, in my opinion. Other than that, I can just think of all the wasted, like, post-side mission going to
stupid casino.
Yeah, like
what a waste of Benicio del Toro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no waste of that's what this whole series has for me. Like, it's just wastes all their characters for nothing.
As a trilogy, they're not great. But I think individually they all have their charms. They all have their quirks. They all have their iconic moments. Maybe not all of them.
Yeah,
but
for it to be a trilogy, like, I feel like they should have just kept the same director and have
for sure,
like a whole story. Like, if they would have like just kept Rian Johnson all throughout all three movies, and he just does his version, I would have been like, you know what? I mean, at least he got to flesh out his characters and give out a reason of why.
I think Rian Johnson would have done better than J.J. Abrams.
I feel like his movie was better directed, but I don't think the story was better.
Well, where do you put it?
I put it at D. I really don't enjoy the movie.
Okay.
Like I said, I only like that one scene where Kylo Ren and Rey fight.
I support Jason. Jason, whatever you want to rank it above B, that's fine.
I can't.
Jason, I will. Okay, how will say this, Jason? I'll be okay if you put it on even C1.
B.
C1.
Jason.
We're technically outvoted, Christian. We're technically outvoted.
It's 2 against 2, right?
I'll let you even put it at B. I'll give you that.
Oh, there you go. B.
I'll let you put it at B.
If you put it B3.
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 I think similar to what Gerardo was saying earlier. So I forgot which ones you were saying specifically, but you said they're overhated. Which one did you say was overhated?
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones. I think Last Jedi is overhated. I think it has a lot of faults. I won't disagree with that. I think this is the movie I most recently saw, just because out of curiosity on if it deserved as much hate as it was getting, and I don't think it deserves as much hate as it was getting, because I think people were being too nitpicky. I think I think I said earlier, I think it's an easy movie to be nitpicky with, but I think it was to a fault. I think everything was a problem because they wanted it to be a problem, because it wasn't following what it's done before. And I think it actually deserves a little more credit for trying to be different, but it just sucks that it was a second movie in a trilogy made by a director that had nothing to do with the other two. So
Well,
that
Jason,
was a big mistake for them to do that.
I was in the theater, Denise passed out, and I wanted to leave. It wasn't because I was nitpicking. I really was enjoying the movie, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm excited for this movie. It looks so cool in the trailers. Those trailers look so fucking cool." All right, and then when I saw the movie and the whole story was going on, and I was like, "Oh my god, I shouldn't be pissed for a movie. It doesn't affect my life at all." But I was still affected me for somehow, so that's why.
Also, Benicio del Toro's character trash.
Yeah, it was really trash. Yeah,
like just fucking useless.
Made no sense. You know what I think is useless? Jar Jar Binks. The whole pod racing scene, cool, useless. Fight me.
D3, Jason. I will let you.
I just it's crazy that it's in the same tier as the piece of crap movie that Phantom Menace is.
That was one character. Phasma was trash.
What they did with Phasma was trash. The character still cool.
No, the
Jar Jar
character's
Binks,
cool.
nothing about him is cool.
Hey, he's a politician now.
Look, I'll leave it there, C1. I think you guys are. I think some of these I would have been like, you know what, it's fine.
You know what?
It's your
give
opinions.
It a B3. I'll give it a B3.
No, I'm leaving C1 so you guys could all die on this terrible hill that you've.
I mean, that's how
built.
I feel.
Not a terrible hill.
Yeah.
I'll die there.
Yeah,
Solo just D. Solo just
Solo B.
D.
Oh,
D. Sorry, D. I don't even want to argue with this.
It's got me heated. I don't want to either. Where would you guys put it? Real quick, just quick ranking.
I'm getting hungry.
Me too. Real quick, where do you guys rank? This is why I got moody right here because I'm getting hungry. Yeah. Solo.
C.
Are you guys kidding me?
Childish Gambino.
You know what?
Honestly,
I forgot the droid's name. I forgot the droid's name, but the droid that's with Childish Gambino makes it just according. C2. You
got okay. This is where
yes.
No. This is. Are you kidding me, Adrian? And Gerard, are you kidding me?
What would you put it?
It's not.
I'll put it in D.
It's not great, and I was thinking about it, but it's still decent. I'm not gonna watch it over again. I mean, I wouldn't watch the majority in C again.
This is where I think Jason's right about this.
Childish Gambino
this
was a good
fucking
Lando.
trash tier.
This is where I
really
think
good Lando. I think him being a stormtrooper was a cool idea, and then he just kind of left. I thought that was cool. What's her face?
Just to continue to argue with you guys. Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, she was okay. And then the fact that they introduced, which is sad, but they introduced Darth Maul at the end. I was like, okay, I'll give it a little.
Yeah, but it didn't go anywhere.
See, this is again just to argue with you guys. I think this movie has more arguments on what they did bad with previous characters, with legacy characters. This movie has more faults. Everything they did with Solo just did not feel like Han Solo, but I still enjoy watching it. A lot of this movie was pointless.
The Han Solo in that movie was just weird. I was like, okay.
He didn't.
Do you guys remember how he came out with this movie? The name of Solo?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that scene?
Oh God, yeah. But
I don't even know what you're talking about because I've only watched this movie once and I never watched it again.
Oh. What was it? He's about to pass.
He was going to become a stormtrooper, and then they asked him for his name, and he said Han. Then they asked what's his full name. He's like, I wasn't given Solo. Some bullshit like that. He's like, I'm Solo. I'm writing Solo, like Jason Derulo writing Solo.
Look, if you put it in C3, I'll be fine. But
I don't care. It's C2, Danny. You guys have been outvoting me on all of these. This is a terrible list.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Terrible.
Very accurate list.
You know what you said? Right?
You're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like the last one. So
Oh yeah, you're not gonna like the last one.
I'm a big fan of this last one. We're just gonna move on. This is A2 for me.
Whoa!
wow, shut the fuck up. Jason.
No, no.
That shit is deep.
I'm gonna go.
Real quick, chat saying they're all D tier, K bye. They
Jesus.
agree with her. They're all boring and then some. Honestly, the
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks hate feels xenophobic. Well, I mean, it's a terrible character. Honestly, no, they're not all bad. That whole race isn't actually that bad. And then it says, just give Danny the D.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Okay.
Just before I had a fucking ton of fun watching this movie.
I remember you coming out from the theater, Jason.
This is
telling us about
B1
that.
according to this tier list. This is B1 for me. I don't care how many things it did to fuck up the Star Wars universe and saga. I don't care. This movie did not feel like 2 hours and a half or however long it was. This is one of those movies I feel like people who are Fast and Furious fans are. I feel the same with this movie where I turned my brain off. I turned it off. I said, go to sleep. I'm just watching this for fun. And boy, was it fun to watch.
Okay. Okay. All right. Adrian, I'll say my
Stand by it.
Oh, hold up. I'll save it.
You know what? I put it a D. I'll give it a C though. It was
Jason,
better.
you don't realize how many things this movie did, man.
It was
I don't
better
care.
than obviously the last what's it called, the Last Jedi or whatever the fuck it's called.
The Last Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah, it was better than that one. There was a lot of stupid stuff in this movie that just it went down the route that it had to fix stuff from the second movie,
And the
then
first.
that took
And you know what? Let's not forget, it also had to fix a lot of dumb shit from episodes 1, 2, and 3. That only Clone Wars did to fix it, and they still couldn't fully fix it. You know what? I'm ending it here.
well,
This
no,
fucking whole
it-
universe. Star Wars
where-
sucks.
No. You know what? I'll go back and put it at a D because there's a lot of stuff now that Dave Filoni has to fix because of this stupid movie. Because they just essentially was like, oh, let's just get the Emperor back because of fucking cloning randomly. But it's so stupid. Like the way they introduced it, the way it was just, oh, look, he's just a crippled, decrepit zombie clone now. And you're just like, what? Kylo
no.
Ren,
go
first
ahead.
time, somehow didn't even mention it. Went to fucking Mustafar went to Darth Vader's castle, and they didn't even show that. They just showed him fighting fucking little random people. I was like, why did they not show that? The whole thing with Rey randomly standing in the correct spot, looking at the fucking dagger, and like, oh, the dagger's pointing there. That's where we go. That's
Oh.
stupid.
Also,
That
she
was
can heal. She can heal. By the way, don't forget that.
Which
What's
was
wrong with
introduced in Mandalorian.
What's wrong
But
with
I
healing?
was just like, okay, she has cool powers. That's a new ability. Cool with that. We've never seen it. I'm okay with that though. The ones things I did like, the whole tug of war, Kylo Ren and the ship. I thought that was pretty cool. When she was like fighting and then she somehow forced
Oh,
like
from the ship.
The
yeah,
Ren's Knight.
the fact that she's a Palpatine, I thought that was dumb. I was just like, if what's
I like
sad
that,
is,
but I could
and
be
it's
better.
a little hypocritical. If she was somehow a Kenobi, I would have believed that more than a Palpatine. The Palpatine thing just didn't make any sense because we never had any other context that he had kids, that he had anything, and somehow the kid was a clone of him. And I don't know. They tried so hard to like push so much shit on you that it just didn't make sense.
But
the
the
stupid
hoopla.
line-
You know what the worst thing about this movie was? Is that they didn't fully flesh out the Knights of Ren. That's it. That's the worst thing
That's
about
another
this. That's the
another
worst
shitty
thing.
fact. And then they died so quick. I was like, what? Like, what the fuck was that? That's how they die? And they're supposedly Jedi trained or whatever, or I don't know. But then they die like that. Their fucking backstory isn't even, I don't know. And then the fact they're like, oh, they're in the speeders or whatever. They fly now. Bitch, you were a stormtrooper. You should have known they had jetpacks. They had jetpacks in the Empire. I was like, that makes no sense.
Gerardo,
like,
go ahead.
Yeah, I know.
I'll put this as a C tier. I have a lot of problems with the whole sequels in general, but I think that it's better than The Last Jedi for sure. But it just doesn't do anything. It just doesn't do anything new. Like the whole fight scene at the end, I feel like it's out of nowhere with Palpatine coming back, and then the way they bring him back, they're like, "Oh yeah, Palpatine is back out of nowhere." No one questions how or why he came back. It's just like they just accept it very easily, and yeah, just
Palpatine.
yeah. I mean, but I mean, if he was back, wouldn't it? I feel like it would have been something bigger, just because of like the big bad that he was before. I don't know. It's just underwhelming for me.
They should have used a little bit more like science, because they go into details about clones and the Clone Wars, but they don't use any details about how they keep Palpatine alive like during that time. So that would have been
Well, he's
cool.
a clone, and they're kind of doing that with the shows now. Like,
Mhm.
I guess explaining how he comes back, but at the time that it came out, it was just out of nowhere.
Christian.
Also, oh, Christian, go ahead.
Oh no, oh no. Not me.
What?
That was not me.
No,
what do you
you.
put in?
Oh no, definitely somewhere in C. I'll put in C, definitely for C. I liked it. I honestly liked it. Just the aspect of the whole healing, because we talk about it like there's so much stuff up. We were talking about this with the last time, like what Jedi's are capable of that doesn't have in the movies. And one of those was the healing, the dashing, like be able to levitate, like with some things like that. Use the force to block like the lightsabers and other things like that, or just getting shot at. They can block that with the force. So there's a lot of things that movies don't introduce, and then Disney movies have him, and then they're getting so much hate for that. And I personally would like put it in C, just because he has like new stuff about Jedi's in general that you don't see in the other movies. So
Okay.
Danny, I don't think you said where you would put it, did you?
No, I would put it to Jason. Like I said, I still enjoy it a little more than the other one. Listen to me, Jason. Hold on.
I'm listening. I'm
Like,
listening.
I'll put him in C. C, maybe 4. Oh no. Actually, you have it there.
I don't have.
C1.
I don't have any of these anywhere.
I'll
You
put
guys
him-
have these there.
I'll put him at C1. Look, Jason, like this movie, it just did so many wrongs to be. I feel like Ahsoka way 10 times better than Rey as a Jedi.
Why are you comparing them though?
I feel because we hear her voice at the end of this, which is pretty cool scene, but she died somehow. We don't know how she died though, so I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know.
Wait,
But I don't.
Wait, Ahsoka's voice is in this movie?
At the end, when all the Jedi are speaking to her,
Oh.
like giving her powers, I feel like that was pretty cool.
Why are
scene.
you
Like, hey,
pitting
yeah,
these women
they're-
against each other?
they're like,
Danny?
you can
Why are
do
you doing
this.
this?
Yeah, you
can
can.
do
I just feel like I don't know. She should have
Listen,
lost to Palpatine. They all should have lost to Palpatine. Did you saw the scene with all the starships? How many there were? And I don't know. There's a
That was
few
freaking
hundred
sick,
ships.
dude. That was awesome.
And all
Danny,
the
but she's a Skywalker, Danny. She's a Skywalker.
no, she's
no,
not.
she's a Palpatine.
She
She's
says
a
it.
Palpatine. No, she's a
She
Palpatine.
says, yeah, but
Look,
she says she's a Skywalker.
Fuck this Skywalker.
Have you guys? Family isn't just about blood. It's about where you belong and where you feel at home.
Oh,
And she feels like a Skywalker, damn it.
but she's not.
But
She's
she
a
feels
Palpatine.
like one. Just like how Christian feels like a Solaris / Monteroso.
Ah, that's true. Christian does good.
You know?
Look, Jason, I'll put it in C1. There's so many wrongs with this movie. Like
There's so many wrong with so many of these movies. I think these movies aren't good after episode 6. And aside from Rogue One. Honestly, these movies are not even Revenge of the Sith. I think none of these are good anymore. They're not great movies. They're just what they are.
But you
They are-
enjoyed it.
because
you
they're in
enjoyed
a
what it was.
universe that I enjoy. They're in a.
Yeah.
This is why I asked about the MCU earlier. Is because a lot of the MCU movies are also not good, but they're in a universe that we've now been watching for a long time. So a lot of it is nostalgia. I don't. Phantom Menace is disgustingly bad. The the sequels I don't think are bad movies. They're just in a universe that has been good. So now they are viewed in a bad light because they don't build off into a universe that's was good. Which is why when I went into this one, I turned off my brain. I said they're not going to perfect this because they've already messed up the second one. You can't make a trilogy good when you mess up the second movie. So I was like, turn this off. I'm just going to watch it for what it is. And it was fun.
Yeah, I tried to do that. It was fun, but
it was fun. You should, Danny, watch it
Casey
and turn off your brain.
This is where Casey Cousins happen for real.
Oh, I want you to watch it, turn off your brain, and just watch it for the fun.
I have,
don't
Jason.
Don't think
I have.
Don't think about the Skywalkers. Don't think about the second movie, Last Jedi. Just watch it. Just enjoy for what it is.
I do gotta say, Paul's ex, her suit is pretty cool, or whatever helmet she was using. Paul, her ex.
Pose X.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, she was a good actress, and they underutilized her. Like they underutilize a lot of actors for some reason.
This is why I criticize you guys right now. You guys are being hypocritical, because Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones are just dog shit. They're not even fun to watch. They're not fun to watch.
But Jason, I saw Attack of the Clones. Like I said, I'll tell you, these movies, but they didn't feel like they were trying. I don't know, for some reason, I know they're bad. And this movie felt like they were trying to do so much for the sake of doing.
They were trying to be better than the prequels, is what they were trying, and they over-tried.
Yeah.
Danny, you said you want to see one. I think in consensus is that. I still... You know what? This looks a little accurate. A lot of these movies are in C. This isn't how I would put them, but hey, we had some fun talking shit.
Hey, you wanna get the last recap for the people who don't watching it?
Yes. Sorry, thank you. Thanks for calling that out. S1 is Empire Strikes Back. S2 is Return of the Jedi. S3 is Rogue One. S4 Revenge of the Sith. Sitting alone at A tier is Star Wars: A New Hope. B1 is Force Awakens. B2 is Attack of the Clones. Attack of the fucking Clones. C1 is I don't even, Rise of Skywalker, right? Because Rise of the Skywalker, because she became a Skywalker, Danny. C2 is Last Jedi. C3 is Solo, a Star Wars story. C4 is Phantom Menace. Then D is Clone Wars. Clone Wars and Phantom Menace are just objectively bad movies, not even bad Star Wars movies. These are bad movies. This I gotta. Oh, it looks like someone wants me to do your own tier real quick at the end of this. All right, this is how I would do it. I'm gonna do this real quick, not putting too much thought into this. I'm moving Revenge of the Sith down. I'm gonna put this right over here. I'm gonna put Last Jedi. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. These are all B tier movies for me. They're not.
I think you and Christian have the same list.
Again, it's because these I think S and A and Revenge of the Sith only because it ended up putting a nice little bow tie at the end. Belongs at A, but otherwise those S and A are good movies. They're not just good for the universe, they're good movies. Everything else I think are just cool for the universe. They're not good movies. Well, Force Awakens is maybe. But for like the universe, yeah, you guys are right. They don't fully fit in.
That's the whole point.
For it to fit in, maybe. Yeah, you're right. But again, Phantom Menace is just shit. I don't even know if it's good for the universe since they completely neglected midichlorians afterwards.
You say this with the new, but you're not liking the show Mando that much, which we're gonna get into it because we're gonna get into it next time. Because for me, I close my mind in Mando, and I'm having a great time with Mando right now.
Oh, Mando, dude! I just watched it like a few hours ago. In the episode.
That's different though. That's different though, because we'll get into that. We'll get
All right, we're
into
just
that.
getting. Yeah, we're getting.
We'll get into
yeah.
that another time.
All right,
This
all
is
right.
what I would. This is, I think, how I would do it. I think I have to put
Which-
more thought into it.
I'm not mad at your list, Jason, but I still,
Yeah, I prefer the old list. That's my.
It's
That's
just-
our list.
I think you guys just need to rewatch it and then realize how bored you are watching Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace.
Yes,
I
I,
think that's
didn't
what
even-
it
I
is.
literally just watched it.
You
yesterday.
rather watch those than Last Jedi.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Look,
Yeah,
let me
it's
tell,
tropes
let me
for
let me tell my
different
last joke of the day, so we can
Yes,
just,
yes.
you know.
Boom, 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 boom. We've gone on too long, so let's just get into it, Danny.
I want you all to be my Naboo.
Thanks for listening.
That was the joke.
I don't know where the joke was, Danny.
My Naboo. Boo.
No, that was
That
okay.
was horrible.
This
Thanks
just
for
ended.
listening. Thanks for joining, Head of the Line Christian. It's
Thanks
been
for
fun.
having
It's
me.
been a fun. I would think, of course.
Well, next time we get Gerardo and Christian to
Yeah,
we'll
when
do some
we
other
talk
topics
about
so
the
we can
shows.
talk.
When we talk
We
about the
can talk
shows,
something. Yeah, yeah,
also.
yeah. And we can lick each other.
because you guys are nice, insightful. Thank you. Bye bye.
The Last Jedi.